Good evening, everyone, or if you're joining us from North America, good morning. Welcome to the Mellow Park in Berlin, one of Europe's largest skateboard and BMX parks. It is where progression is the name of the game, and tonight it is the Red Bull Revolution coming to you live. Troy Mannering at the helm with you, joined by Pete Deluski. Pete, there's a lot of craziness going to be going on here tonight. What's so special about this event in particular for BMX racing?
This is a one-of-a-kind BMX event. Incredible track, nothing like anyone's ever seen before, a different format from last year's event. This year it's just going to take it to the next level of BMX, and you are going to see it here tonight in the Mellow Park thanks to Red Bull. Incredible jumps, incredible riders. It's going to be a great night.
A lot of new additions to this track as well. I mean, this is the biggest track that we have seen in a long time, bar none, for BMX racing. And then we add in all these really interesting changes to the track. Talk a little bit about this track and these changes and some of the riders that we're going to see here tonight.
The elements on this track are, like you said, unlike anywhere else. I mean, the first jump is a ski jump over the last turn. The guy's going to jump over the longest jump. It's 4 containers long. And then the track splits into 2 separate sections after what's been dubbed the Berlin Wall. It's the biggest step jump on any BMX track. People saw photos of it as they were constructing the track over the last few weeks. They said no one's going to be able to get over that. As we've seen already in practice, these guys, they are the best professional riders in the sport of BMX racing. They got over that, no problem. And like I said, right after that, there's 2 different lines. There's a flow line and the GoPro jump line. That's where riders will have to go. They will have, in each of the 2 motos, they'll have to go on each of those sides, and they're completely different styles of coursing. One's through that wooden rolling section, the other one's over those humongous jumps. So it's going to be interesting to see the riders hit those different sides of the track throughout the day.
All right, and let's not forget, these are webcasted events. They're broadcast all over the world, and you folks out there can get involved at hashtag Red Bull Revolution. That's all one word after the hashtag. And check out the Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagram feeds of everything that's going on here. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of that stuff. So make sure you get on there and check it out. And if you're tuning in close by or in the park, there's actually free Wi-Fi. But for you folks on the west coast of America or Canada, I don't think you need to worry about it too much. We're just going back to the track and talking a little bit about that, Pete. You were mentioning that it's 2 different styles of track here, split down the middle, so that's really going to take a well-rounded rider to come out and do well in this course. And I mean, we've seen guys like Mike Day out there having a really good time on this track.
Yeah, the riders themselves said they like the flow section because it's faster, where the other side's more air and jumps, and that just means there's more chances of risk. But like you said, it's going to take a guy, consistency is going to be the key, as it is always at a BMX race, but Red Bull's brought it to the next level to have that consistency. And one other thing that we're going to have is we're going to have that 55 DSL Rebel of the Day award that's going to be judged by a panel of judges here, but then once they pick 5 riders, those 5 riders are going to be, the winner of that is going to be voted on by you, the public, at home, as well as the people here. There's going to be a website for you to go on, but as you can see, here is that monstrous track, and you can see that right there, that's that biggest step jump, and then a pretty normal step jump, but as we said, here is what's been dubbed that Berlin Wall, and right after that, the riders will have their choice. They will have that choice. They know what's on the gate to go in those 2 different sections. You see the red arrow went through the GoPro jump section. The yellow was the flow line. The riders, they converge again right into that last straightaway, and then they have that finish line jump where we will see some riders get some pretty nice air, and there are a lot of people that will see that, as you can see right here.
Well, it's a packed house here at the Mellow Park, and just talking about the Mellow Park a little bit, I mean, this place was, they had a different location a few years ago. It's been moved to a spot right next to the Spree here in Berlin, and it's grown by leaps and bounds, and with the support of Red Bull, the Mellow Park has got this track on a permanent basis here. So this is a really good thing for BMX racing in Germany and Europe in general, because this place is where it's at and where progression is really developing.
Right, and you can get that point of view of that progression right here, as we have some pro riders that took a GoPro lap around the track yesterday, and you'll get that point of view from them.
This is your GoPro course preview.
What it's like to ride the track here at the Mellow Park.
And then the other one is the flow line.
There's that big start, standard BMX gate drop, and here we go.
And that's where all the standard BMX goes away, right there, that huge gap jump. And like I said, this longest tabletop coming into the first of the two. There's a roller, which is really tricky, which is making a lot of riders have to slow down to get to that first step up. And it's like, come out of here, this is that Berlin wall jump.
For me, the best thing on this
That
track
is massive.
And you can see right here, they're going to that GoPro jump line on the outside. And they're, again, two big jumps right there. And you see Joris Daudet in the lead, with Corbin Sherrod behind him, as they complete that, come through this cobblestone bricked S-turn line, which is pretty gnarly, jump up into that wooden roller section where it's pretty deep through there, into that wooden last turn, jumping in, and then they'll go back and show you what that other line is like.
This would be the flow line. That one's a little bit easier to get to the finish.
So if they go to the left, that's the flow line, and you can see there's a little bit more style. They come through those S-turns, pretty gnarly, and they'll jump up, again, come up into that wooden section. There's two of those wooden roller sections. They go across the starting hill, jump down into that last straightaway, and then get air for the fans. Yeah, fans, they love it as they come across the line.
Nice. Well, we're looking forward to seeing some fantastic riding coming up here. Before we get going, though, we're going to meet a few of these riders that are in particular question here, as we get a live picture of this track. Look at the number of people that are out here. It is a packed house, like I was saying. The grandstands are full, the infield is full, the sidelines are completely full. I think it's going to be a really, really fun night as we get to meet our first 5 riders here.
Yeah, packed capacity. Yesterday, actually, like 2 days ago, they said this grandstands were sold out. They continued to sell because people showed up. They let people in, standing room only, and as you can see when we get those track shots, completely full of fans here to see the world's best BMX riders as they are getting ready to hit the Red Bull Revolution BMX event. So from right here in Germany, that's going to be Louis Brethauer. He's been on a tear, 3rd place at the World Championships in New Zealand just a couple of weeks ago. Rode here last year, loved it, and we're going to see some incredible racing from Louis. He's got that momentum on his side from the best race result that he's ever had with that 3rd place in the elite men's class at that World Championships.
I believe he just came shy of going to the last Olympics as well with the German team, but I think that we're going to see some big moves from him and the Germans after having this course here. Something really massive for them to train on as well.
Speaking of big things, right here, Twan van Gent from the Netherlands. He was the winner of the first Red Bull Revolution last year. He had a pretty gnarly crash last week, stitches in his hand. He wasn't able to ride the first day of practice. He toughed through it the second day of practice, and now he says he doesn't even remember about his hand. All he remembers is winning that race last year, and he wants to repeat that this year.
Adrenaline will do good things for your healing.
The next rider, if you follow BMX at all, he needs no introduction. Number 365 from the United States of America, that is Mike Day. And you can see Mike's hand's bandaged as well. He had a crash just a couple weeks ago on a mountain bike, strained his thumb, but same thing. He came the first day, wasn't able to ride, and since then he said, I'm looking at that track. He's like, that little bit of thumb pain isn't going to hold me back from racing, and he's out here. He's loving the Mellow Park BMX.
Mikey Day was on the podium last year as well, so expect big things from him this year, 2013. Big representation here at the Mellow Park for the Red Bull Revolution.
So we have 36 riders. You know, they were chosen by World Cup points. Then there was a couple of hand-picked riders, and right here, this is one of them. That's Desmond Tessmacher. He's the guy that's out there that's looking to get your style votes tonight.
There you go.
Flat pedals, no uniform, just all about purebred BMX in general. And he surprised a lot of people how well he's ridden this track.
Yeah, I was watching him training earlier on, and he was keeping with the pack. And then when it came to getting these jumps taken care of, he was clean. So I think that he might be the dark horse in this group here.
And the last rider to come through, riding for Haro Bikes, that's going to be Corbin Shara, another one of those Red Bull riders. Last year he was on the podium for the event. He wants to come back and be up there again, moving up to that top spot. We'll see Corbin silky smooth, got a lot of style, so we'll see what he's able to do tonight here as we get into the race action, where things are a little bit different. The way the racing itself is going to be is the rider's going to have 6 riders per heat. They're going to race 2 motos. The 2 riders with the lowest points will transfer on. The rest of the riders will move on to a last chance qualifier where they take the top 3 finishers, and those guys will move on to the quarterfinals, where that's all single elimination. But you see right here, here's how things work. That first moto, those guys will go to the jump line. Second round, they will go to the flow line. Last chance qualifier, you see their wheel of choice. If you don't know what the wheel of choice
That's going to be an interesting one, because these guys all have to go through those 2 lines. They all have to experience the jump line and the flow line, but the wheel of choice is going to kind of be like that wheel of fortune. Spin it around, and where it lands, you've got to ride that line.
Yeah, and you know, up there, of course, it says jump or flow. Then there are 2 joker spots. If the joker comes up, someone other than the wheel of choice, the designer of this track, Tom Ritz, will be the one that picks what line the riders go through. So we'll get ready. As you can see right here, those quarterfinals, that's what those guys will after these runs of motos. There's those 4 quarterfinals, top 3 from each, semifinals, top 3 from each, and the main event, one time. 6 riders per race, 6 riders in that final event, all going for the championship here tonight.
And again, the format changed a little bit. Last year we had 8 in the gate, and this year it's going to be only 6. And these quarters, semis, and the finals are all single elimination heats. So that's important for you guys out there to note. And during all of this action here, you got to keep an eye out, because we will introduce to you later on our 5 candidates for the 55 DSL Rebel of the Day Award. So make sure you keep your ears and eyes open for that one. We'll tell you more about that as it comes down to the wire. We've got, it looks like, our first heat up in the gate ready to go in this 8th set line, and our first heat sets, these first motos, are all going to go through the jump line.
Yeah, so you can see, like we said, lots of fans here, lots of fans out there. We're excited to be able to bring you all of the race action live here on Red Bull. And those guys are anticipating a great day. I'm anticipating a great night. It's just going to be a great night for BMX in general.
So coming up, 6 motos over the jump line. Then we'll take a look back at the recap from those motos, and then after that we'll have 6 motos from the flow line. And then we'll find out a little bit more about the Mellow Park itself in this fantastic area as we take a look at our judges there. On the left-hand side, we see Tobias Vicke right there with the Vans t-shirt on, and he's one of those guys that's an original burly kid, plenty of power, lots of skill on the ramps, and he's a freestyler of purest form.
Yeah, we have Paul De Jong. He's a BMX pioneer. He's from the Netherlands. Just an incredible guy. Does a lot for the sport. Runs a bike shop as well. And, you know, he's out here. He's one of those top guys.
Steve Spencer, the biggest smile in the house. Funny guy. Always nice to have him up in the box. And then, of course, an original German vert rider, Akim Kujawski. These guys right here are going to be keeping an eye on the 55 DSL Rebel of the Day riders. And when we get that narrowed down, you'll start to get a chance to vote. We'll give you more information about that, as I said. But first off, we're going to get into our first set of heats, or motos as they call them. And this one, pay attention folks, this one's going through the jump line.
So the way the motos were seeded, it's like I said, it's based off of the UCI World Cup rankings for these riders. So there's some riders like Jelle van Gorkum, he's currently ranked #1 in the world. He's going to be in that first moto. So as you see the riders right there, Gorkum, Lapraz, Otto, Gain, Nijhoff, and Riccardi. These guys all travel the world on that UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour, and now they're all here tonight for the Red Bull Revolution. You also see there the second round of motos, and you'll see those riders from all over, and this one as well has some of the world's best riders, and then there are some of these young guns that have been picked who haven't really been on the World Cup Tour, and it'll be interesting to see as we get to those races how those guys fare out. Like I said, this is a completely different course. Different things will happen. 6 riders only on the course, so these riders can have more room to make moves as well as have pure racing style and not be so bunched up because of these bigger jumps. It's going to limit the speed, so it's going to be some tighter racing once we get things kicked off, and it'll be interesting to see how these riders go against each other.
And that space is going to play a big role, as you were mentioning, because that'll give them a little bit more room to move, but also it'll give them a little bit more room to style things out. And if they feel like they have that room to style things out, we might see some more interesting stuff coming down the wire for those 55 DSL Rebel of the Day award.
Yeah, so throughout these 8 finals, like you said, the judges are going to pick those guys. When we get to it, you at home and the people here are going to be the ones who choose who wins a €2,500 prize for that Rebel of the Day. Right now, what these guys are doing, they're excited to be up in that starting gate, getting ready to kick things off for tonight. We have Riccardi right there from France doing it for GT Bicycles. He's loaded up. As you said, Gate 1 and Gate 8 are shut off, so the riders will be next to each other. Next to him, from Canada, Tori Nyhog, one of the most consistent, if not the best professional rider to come from Canada.
Yep.
Next up, a young gun, one of those young handpicked guys, Sean Gain. He just won the Junior Men's World Championship in New Zealand. Now he's loaded up with the Elite Men. He's still got one more year before he's actual true elite rider, but tonight he's up there with those guys.
Be a good test for him as well to see where he stands against the elite riders.
Yeah, right here we have Otto. He's actually a replacement rider. We had one rider that was injured. He was an alternate, so it's going to be interesting to see him. He hasn't had much time on the track, but what he has had, he really loves it. Another young guy right here, but no stranger to big victories. A past world champion in the junior class, Carlos Ramirez from Colombia.
Saw him in the elevator earlier on as they were heading out of the hotel, and he said to me, boy, this course is big. He's got a little bit of nervousness about it, so I think hopefully he's gotten those butterflies out.
I'd be nervous too if I was next to Jelle Van Gorkum, currently world ranked #1 rider in the overall UCI Elite Men's category. These guys are loaded up in the gate.
Here we
will
go.
Wait for that gate call and see how things turn out for heat #1. Here
Heat #1, locked and loaded, Red Bull Revolution. This is where it all starts, folks. 2013 edition, and we're going to drop them.
Okay, here we go with the gate call.
Start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And they're off, and remember, this is the jump line, and oh, we've got a problem already.
Yeah, instantly Jelle Van Gorkum unclipped, and right now Tori Nyhog has a slight lead. He's going to lead those guys into this turn with Ramirez in that second place spot as they get ready. They both get swooped from Riccardi of France as they get ready, coming down that straightaway. Now Ramirez gets out front. Tori Nyhog's unable to get to that jump.
Nyhog is left in the dust back there as he has trouble with that one jump.
So coming through, we'll see how things pan out. It's going to be Riccardi from France with Ramirez in that second place spot as they get ready to come around, and it's going to be Gain and the youngster that was picked just today to come out as they cross the line. It's going to be Ramirez with first, Riccardi in second, Sean Gain in third, Otto in that fourth place spot.
All right, looks like we're going to actually have a photo finish here, Pete. So, I mean, it could be real close. It could be that both of them are right there on the line together. We'll wait for the photo finish to come through to see if it's Riccardi or Ramirez who's going to take the win on this first heat. Good race, though, to start things off. Lots of excitement here in the crowd.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do at any BMX race is unclip, but if, like you said, with that jump at the bottom of the ramp, you never want to unclip because you're unable to basically jump that jump. We had a few riders, you can see right there on the inside, we had a few riders that unclipped yesterday, crashed, fell off through the gap. One of them was Mike Day, one of them was Connor Fields. They were okay, but that, like I said, that pretty much puts a damper on your whole day of racing. And like I said, these guys will have that last chance qualifier, so it's not that big of a deal. It's not, they have these two motos to move on. Those guys will be excited, and you can see that side-by-side racing as they went over that Berlin Wall and then through this wooden roller section here.
And unclipping also plays a little bit with your headspace when you're out there and you're thinking about going and starting, but you don't want to give that start too much of a big push, otherwise you're worrying about that unclipping.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, even with the world's best riders, it's spooky to unclip at any given time, but like I said, especially with this special feature at the bottom of the ramp, that's something that you want to do. But we'll get ready for second moto, see how things pan out for this group of guys, and like I said, some of the world's best riders in this one.
All right, and it is official. Ramirez is the winner of that first heat. So we go to heat number 2. Kaileron, Peluard, Hudson, Fields, Chirac, and Tessemaker.
So yeah, right here, Tessemaker, he's the guy, he's the black horse here. He's the one that's on flat pedals, on a freestyle bike. Everyone's on a sub 20-pound bike. This guy's got maybe a 30-pound bike, so it'll be interesting to see. But he's not a stranger to big air.
And he's not afraid of going up against these guys either. There's nothing at stake for him here.
No. So right next to him is Corbin Chirac, like we said, podium maker from last year's event here. And he's looking super relaxed. Number 11, doing it for Chase Bicycles out of the United States of America, Las Vegas. That's going to be Connor Fields. Had some success this year on the World Cup circuit. Unfortunately, a bad race at the World Championships. A kid right here who had an incredible race. He won 16-year-old World Championship title at the World Championships, Colin Hudson from the United States of America. Next to him, the newest French national champion. That's going to be Vincent Heluard. Been really fast, had an injury in the summer, came back pretty strong, and won that French national championship. And next to him, another strong Frenchman, Quentin Kaileron, another guy that's been successful on the Supercross circuit, and he's looking to take that success here tonight to the Melaport. Bring it on!
Really like the way Peluard reacts with the people as well. There were kids all over him at the hotel earlier on, crawling all over his bike, and he was easy with it. Here we go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the gate's down. It looks like Clarion has that cool and calmness as he's getting down that first straightaway. But Connor Fields and Corbin Chirac pop out from the outside. It'll be interesting to see. These two guys are incredible riders. Clarion has a good line, shoves Fields up a little bit, so as they get over that Berlin Wall, we'll see how they can get down as they get over this jump line.
Tessemaker sitting dead last, but he's styling it out a little bit. His first jump out the box was a big grizz there, and then he goes for the tuck no-hander there.
So right there, you see a little bit of move as Peluard gets around Fields, but right now Clarion and Peluard are going to battle it out with Connor Fields in that third place spot, Corbin Chirac fourth, as we see them coming around to the finishing line. So it's going to be Clarion, Peluard, Connor Fields, Colin Hudson.
Tessemaker with a turn down to finish it off.
Yeah. So you saw right there, Colin Hudson backflipped that last jump. He's going for that award, but right now, Clarion's looking for the low points to move on. Clarion, Peluard, Fields, that's your top three with Chirac in the fourth place spot.
And I think he's going to get rid of a pair of his drawers here. We're not seeing it on camera, unfortunately, but Peluard just gave the audience a gift.
So you see right there, Fields got over that jump just a little bit slow, and that's where Clarion was able to come underneath him and pass him. Corbin Chirac was stuck on the outside a little bit. He wasn't able to get out there, as you see right there. There's a lot of places on this track to make those moves, and you can see right there was a lot of changing in those top three positions throughout that lap.
Well, that's the nice thing, too, about this track. You know, there's lots of opportunity here. If the guy picks the right line exactly, he has a chance to pass, and that's not something that happens very often at this level.
You can see right here, these guys are coming through that finishing area. They're pretty cooled out. And right here, Colin Hudson from the U.S. says, I want to get my style points in somewhere along the line. Right there,
there
you see the end of his backflip as he came through.
He was outside of the camera view, but you can just see him landing in.
So that was Moto number 2, second of the 8th finals. And those guys went through a pretty successful lap, a little bit smoother than that first lap.
Yep, no unclipping either.
Yeah, so we'll get ready for the third run here, and we'll start things off with Christensen. That's actually not Darren Goodwin, but we'll
let him have that.
That's Chris Christensen. Next to him from the US of A, a stylish rider. It's going to be Jeremy Rommel doing it for Supercross BMX. He's one of those guys, he's a A pro. He's not at the upper level yet, but he rides like one of the best riders that we've seen out there. And a guy that's impressive every time he rides. Doing it out of France, it's going to be Sylvain Andre. And a very aggressive rider from France, fast guy, very animated, a great rider to watch on that circuit. So it'll be interesting to see how things work out for him as he's getting ready for today. Another guy from France, Sanin Duchesne. Interesting to see how things work out for him. Next to him, the number 121. This guy's all serious and all business. Raymond van der Biezen. just one of the best riders from the Netherlands, an impressive guy on that World Cup circuit. We'll see how things work out from here at the Red Bull Revolution.
All right, here we go.
Here we go with that gate call.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
The gate down, and from the middle looks like it's going to be Sylvain Andre, and then Sylvain Andre and Van der Biesen are all out there.
This is only a 5-man heat on this one.
Yeah, Darren Goodwin actually crashed earlier in practice, so he's unable to compete. But right now, Jeremy Rommel pops out in that lead spot, gets around Van der Biesen. Van der Biesen has a little bit of a bump right there. So we'll see how things, Sylvain Andre's in that second place spot. We'll see how they get through as they go through these S turns, coming out the end of this into that wooden rhythm section. But right now, it's the 157 of Duchenne who has that lead. Second place, Sylvain Andre. Third place is going to be Rommel. As they come across the line, it's going to be Duchenne, Andre, Rommel, and then Van der Biesen in that fourth place spot.
Oh, and we got another backflip. It was expected that we were going to see a few of these happening during the night, and I imagine that we're going to see a lot more.
So you saw right there, Duchenne had a great race with Sylvain Andre. Right there, you can see how serious he is on the gate. When the gate dropped, it looked like he was all business as he got things done. I mean, Raymond Van der Biesen is a guy that's never really makes mistakes, and he's a guy that's really difficult to get around. But as you see right here, in that lead going into the first turn, but the guy's kind of slowed up a little bit on that step-up jump. That step-up jump's been giving the Dutch riders a little bit of trouble, and it seems the French riders had a little bit more style as they were able to get through it pretty smooth.
The other thing too is if you miscue any of these jumps and you land too far down, or if you tag the top, then you're going to slow down considerably, and that's going to give advantage to the guy that's chasing you.
Yeah, and you see right there, Christensen said, now I'm back in the pack, but I'll do it for the fans, do it for that DSL 55 award. Does a backflip, brought the crowd to their feet, and now we'll get ready for the next of the runs. We'll start out with one of the incredible riders, number 9. It's going to be Joris Daudet doing it for GT Bicycles. Out of the United States of America, number 187. That's going to be Jared Garcia, another young rider that's had an impressive year so far on that Supercross circuit. Next to him, this guy was here last year, loved this track, Derek Sipfoy from the United States of America. Another young gun, been impressive on the World Tour, Niels Bensik from the Netherlands. Next to him, from Switzerland, that's going to be Renaud Blanc. And to finish out this heat from right here, the homeboy, it's going to be Louis Brethauer.
Looking forward to seeing him ride, actually, because I watched a feature on him not too long ago, and their training regime here for the German team is pretty intense, and he's really come a long way.
Riders ready. Watch the gate.
And right now he's come out to the front as he leads that pack. He's got Joris Daudet on the outside. Joris actually gets a little bit of pull of him over that step jump, and as they get ready coming into that turn, he's still in that second place spot. But right now Daudet's going to lead Brethauer over that step jump, and we'll see how those guys get down that outside on that GoPro jump section.
Brethauer's looking good though. He's got good flow so far, and he's staying right there with Daudet.
Yeah, Daudet, one of the most technical and fast riders. He's got all the speed and skill to win this race. Right now, he's out front. We'll see how it goes, but you can see Brethauer's holding off a little bit of a charge. But right there, he's going to come out in that second place spot behind Daudet, taking the win. It's going to be Brethauer in second, and then third place is going to be Blanc. Unfortunately, Derek Sipfoy went down in that wooden rhythm section, trying to pump through there a little bit faster. But you see Daudet, Brethauer, Blanc, and Bensik are going to be your top 4, with Garcia in 5th, and then Sipfoy in that 6th place spot.
Well, one more chance for all of these guys as well when we go through the flow line, and then there's always that last chance qualifier that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Like we said, it's going to be the top 3 in that move on. But right now, the guys that were moving were Daudet and Brethauer, as they took the pack from the start, got out there and just led it around and showed these guys, they mean business in this. They don't want to have to do that last chance qualifier. They want to go right through it. And you can see, unfortunately, right there, that's where Sipfoy went down in that wooden section. And Daudet throws a little style for the fans with an old school X-up.
Yeah, that was about the only style we saw coming across that finish line in that moto.
So we will get ready for the next moto number 5.
On the deck right now. Let's get an introduction to our riders. Welcome back to the race.
So we'll get things started out. This guy right here, one of the stylish riders in BMX, has made his way back. He had some injuries, and now he's back. Steven Cesar, 943. Right here, number 500 from Brazil, Renato Rezende, and his super impressive guy on the World Cup circuit this year, earned his way here by that great world ranking. A guy that needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway.
Mikey Day.
Yeah, number 365 from the United States of America, doing it for GT Bicycles and Red Bull, Mike Day.
Mikey's been at it a long time, too. I mean, he's no newcomer, and he's been successful for a long time.
Right, another guy that's been successful recently is going to be Martin Jaspers. Incredibly fast, another guy doing it. You see right there for that GT Bicycle squad. A young gun living up to the footsteps of his older brother. It's going to be Julien Gaudet from France. A lot of French riders are fast, a lot of style, so it's interesting to see how things come out. And then a guy from Japan.
And I am not Chinese. Nice.
Nagasako, he's one of those guys. He's put a lot of effort. He moved from Japan to Switzerland to train at the UCI World Cycling Center. We'll see how that plays off as he's in the gate with the world's best riders as we get ready for the gate start.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
The gate's down. It looks like Mike Day has a little bit of trouble with it, but his teammate's going to be out there right now. But it's going to be Rezende from Brazil leading Jaspers down that first straightaway, so we'll see things work out inside.
Nagasato taking an inside line there, sitting in third place right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's trying to drop a sake bomb, so we'll see how that works out for him. But right now, they're all chasing Rezende from Brazil. He's in that first place spot, now in that second place spot. So it'll be interesting to see as Rezende coming out into that wood section with the lead in that second place spot. It's going to be Gaudet as they come around in third place. Now is going to be Jaspers, but coming to that finish line, it's going to be Rezende with the win. Gaudet in second, Jaspers in third, and Nagasako will take that fourth place spot.
Pretty impressive for Nagasako.
Yeah, he had an incredible run at the World Championships. He actually went into the first turn in second or third place. He had a crash with Barry Nobles, took both of those guys out. Their chances went away, but just an impressive run from that young gun from Japan. But Rezende from Brazil impresses everyone here with a great start. You can see right there, Mike Day just maybe hit the gate a little bit. Looks like he unclipped. So right there, he's going to put him behind, and that's not where you're going to be in this race right here. As you can see, Rezende gets that perfect backside on that jump, carries the momentum, gets around Jaspers, and then on the inside, Nagasako.
Great move to take that inside line as well. You can see him, he just seemed to target it and got in there really nicely. And right here is where it went a bit south for Nagasako. He hit the top of that landing, knuckled it a bit, and that slowed him down considerably, which brought him back to fourth place. And there's our first crash in this heat.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was Mike Day trying to go on the inside of Steven Cesar. Both those guys went down. So yeah, unfortunately, Mike Day and Steven Cesar went down. We have the incredible medical staff here checking those guys out. Looks like Cesar is up okay as well as Mike Day.
They're both standing, and that's the most important thing there. When the guys are able to walk off that course, and it's a bit of a enlightening situation for the rest of the guys, because I know from other sports, this particular downhill mountain biking or freestyle mountain biking or freestyle motocross, when one of the comrades goes down, you never like to see that, and it sometimes it puts a little bit of a damper on the atmosphere, but those two guys are up and about, so it's that's definitely okay.
Yeah, they're definitely both winded. Like I said, crashing out in that first moto like that's going to probably keep them for sure out of that, top two elimination on that next round, but they'll have that chance, even if they sit out that next race, to come back and do that last chance qualifier. But we will get ready for the last of the first round of motos here, and this is that young gun. That's not Tuan Van Gent, that's Corey Walsh from Canada. He's one of those young guys coming up on the circuit. Next to him is going to be from Australia, number 17, doing it for DK Bicycles and Red Bull. It's going to be Luke Medill. Luke Medill's been a staple on the BMX Tour as a professional for many years, and he's excited to be here.
Not a lot of Australian representation this time around, though.
No, just Luke, and then Darren Goodwin, who was injured. Next to him, another one of those French guys, though, number 69. That's going to be Damien Godet. He's a fast guy. Pay attention to him. Number 148. That's going to be Tuan Van Gent, like we said, injured. Last week had stitches. Wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to come, but he said, you know what, I want to defend my title, at least be up on that gate to see how things work out. So the number 148, Tuan Van Gent. Next to him from the United States of America, doing it for DK Bicycles, that's going to be Barry Nobles, and he's going to be a guy to watch because he's always stylish when he's on the track, on or off the track. So pay attention to him. He's going to be one of those guys that wants to go for that Rebel of the Day award. And then next to him, that last rider in this gate, that is going to be Yvon Lapraz from Switzerland. Yvon moved to the United States of America to train, and right now he's excited. It's another one of those guys, just loves to race. He'll go anywhere for a great race, and great racing is what we hope to see as we get ready to drop the final of the motos, moto number 6 here in the first run. Getting that track dialed in from that incident.
Yeah, never want to have any divots in there. It's not like golfing where you can walk past it. If you got a nice hole in the track, that's going to cause problems for a rider as he comes by. We're going to take a short pause here, let these guys think about what they have to do. And just going back to the Mellow Park a little bit in this fantastic course here and talking about some of the great racing. I mean, we've already seen some good racing, and here we go. These guys are on course already.
So right now, Tuan Van Gent looks like that hand hasn't bothered him, and he gets an early lead right there. But right there, see a little bit of a case kicks him back right now. It's going to be Damien Godet, and Lapraz is going to be in that second place, battling it out with Barry Nobles. So we'll see. Nobles is going to try to get on the inside there of Lapraz to see if he's able to do that. So out front's going to be the 2 DK riders. Stylish, one from France, one from the United States of America. As they go through that run, unfortunately, Tuan Van Gent's whole lap is going miserable for him. That's not what he wants to be with that injured hand. But where you want to be is out front. That's where Damien Godet is right now. With Barry Nobles in that second place spot, as riders come around, Barry Nobles says, I'll take second place, and I'll also give you fans a backflip. Third place, Lapraz. Fourth place, Medill. And then fifth place is going to be Tuan Van Gent.
That landing by Nobles was a little bit questionable, I got to tell you, though.
Yeah, he used all his effort getting around that track, because you saw his start wasn't that great, but it's not the start that's judged, it's that finish and where those points are. Like I said, low 2 points, you want to be in the top 2. And right there you see a really good start by Tuan Van Gent. You see the 2 DK bookends right next to him, but you can see right here where Tuan got over that, over-jumped that jump a little bit, that sucked it up, and just enough for Damien Godet to get around him.
And again, it comes down to that timing that we talked about early on in the show here. If you don't have it just right, get that backside landing to keep that flow going, you're really going to lose a lot of speed, and that's what happened there for Tuan Van Gent.
And like I said, Barry Nobles maybe out of a little bit of steam, but you know what? He got a little shady on the landing, but he landed it. So.
He needed a panic rev there to get himself around.
So that'll wrap up the first run of the motos for these guys. Now we'll come back, like I said, those guys are going to go on the flow line the next time, so you're going to see them ride on the different side of the track. It'll be interesting to see the difference of the track. We've got some time, so we can compare the times once those riders go through there, but I'm pretty sure that the flow line's actually a little bit faster, so we'll see it.
And we're also talking about, they're not flying through the air as much this time. They can keep the pedal to the metal, so to say. And, yeah, like you say, probably some faster times coming up. We may also see a little bit of elbows flying on this one because the guys have an opportunity a little bit more here to pass than they did on the jump line. So coming up, it is the next set of heats on the flow line.
And like we said, this different format here. There's only 2 runs, 2 motos. Traditionally, there's 3 motos, so there'll be 2 motos. The low 2 riders with the lowest points will move on. They'll go directly to that simulation quarterfinal. The rest of the guys will get grouped up into the six-man last chance qualifiers. We'll have 4 of those. Top 3 from each of those will move on, and they'll move on to that quarterfinal as well. So a little bit different format, but interesting to see how those riders will get through it.
Well, the racing has been good so far. We've had a few crashes. There's been the drama that we expect from BMX racing. but there's also been the excitement of this different format. And I would like to see this expanded a little bit more, and maybe, see the UCI take on some of the, let's say the innovation that they're putting into this contest here.
Well, a lot of traditional BMX purists say, this isn't BMX, and they're right, this isn't traditional BMX racing, but what is traditional about Red Bull? Red Bull goes to the limit with everything they do, and you know what, as a fan of BMX, if it's the track, street, freestyle, vert, I applaud Red Bull for what they do, what they give back to the sport, and to give these guys, the world stage to show what they're made of, what they're able to do. And at the same point, they said last year's event was great. They liked it. They said, how can we make it better? They went back to the drawing board. They tweaked a few things. They made the track incredibly, even different. Last year we thought it was gnarly, and this year it's like heads and shoulders above the rest. But, they stand behind their riders, invited the world's best riders, and what you're getting tonight is some incredible a BMX show at this BMX event. It's not even a race. It's a race, but it's an event.
It's a contest, but it's also an event. It's like, there are some guys that do a snowboard event in the Alps, and they call it a contestable because it is a festival that has a contest that's involved in it. And, you mentioned going back to the drawing board. Well, they really did go back to the drawing board. They kept the essence of the track here, but they added some really cool features with that big Berlin Wall step up and the 2 wave sets that they've built in there. It's really hard to describe the sheer size of this course on TV. You don't really get a feel for it on that little screen you're watching. Even if you've got a massive TV screen in high definition, you still don't really get a feel for the size when you stand up on top of some of these features. It is really intimidating.
Yeah, traditionally, even on the Supercross, which has been one of the gnarliest, things that are out there, it's an 8 meter high starting hill. This one has a 10 meter high starting hill. It's really hard to see that sure height on it because of the big jump at the bottom, but believe me, you can see these speeds and what these riders are able to get ready. So we'll get ready here with the second run of these guys as they get loaded into the motos. And these guys are, like I said, looking for the easy way out. The guys that had low points last time, they want to continue that on and be able to move on into, straight away into that, not have to do that last chance qualifier, but we'll get ready. So,
and the last chance qualifier is only 4 heats.
Yeah.
4 motos for the last chance qualifier doesn't give you a lot of opportunity here.
No, so that's a one-shot deal to get top 3, but Remy Riccardi right now, he's looking to continue on he had that second place finish last time, so he's getting ready. Next to him, Tori Nyhog from Canada.
I liked his start last time, but he got a little bit stuck in there somehow.
Yeah, unfortunately that 5th place isn't where you want to wind up. Next to him, it's going to be Sean Gaines. Sean finished 3rd last time, so he's going to be a guy battling it out, trying to get in that top spot and have low points to move things on. So like we said, a surprise rider, Fabian Otto. He was a guy, he only got the 1 hour of practice today because he's an alternate.
That's pretty incredible talent though.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see him out here. Next to him, like I said, that young gun from Colombia. That's going to be, he's got a lot of names, but we'd like to call him Carlos Ramirez. A couple extra names in there for prosperity.
Carlos Alberto Ramiro. I can't even keep up with it.
And a guy right here who wants to redeem himself is going to be Jelle Van Gorkum, 6th place in that last one. Definitely doesn't want that. It's going to be tough for him to move on from these low points, but he's an incredible rider, so we'll see as things
And he
happen.
definitely doesn't want to unclip this time either. He's got to keep that concentration up.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So as the gate drops down, it looks like it's going to be Sean Gaines that gets a really good pop from the inside. Tori Nyhog seems to take over. Now
Jelle Van Gorkum right there.
Yeah,
nice.
He's on that inside. He says, my foot's in this time. Let's see what I can do. So it's going to mix it up. It's going to be interesting to see how things work out. But right now, Nyhog gets over that, a little bit of a hang-up, and you see these guys go to that flow line for the first time. So it's going to be Nyhog with Van Gorkum in that 2nd place spot. So it's going to be interesting to see how the points tabulate. And Ramirez in that 3rd place spot. And they'll come around to the finishing area. Definitely a lot shorter of a run here for those guys.
Nyhog going for the porno air over that last jump. I'm not sure he's going to get many points for that finish though, but he got the points that he needed to get by coming across the line first. So Tori Nyhog
Yeah,
Nicely done.
Yeah, so Tori Nighthawk with that first place finish, he's going to transfer on, even with that, not the finish he was looking for in that first run, but he winds up with 6 points, has the tiebreaker on his finish, so he edges out Riccardi, and Ramirez is going to be the guy that moves on as well. So those two guys are out. So that leaves Riccardi, Gain, Van Gorkum, and Otto. They're all going to have to go on to that last chance qualifier. But a good run for Tori Nighthawk with that bar hump air at the end. Excited. Trying to hide his excitement, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's some guys that can, put that excitement out there in a different way, and I guess Tori just had a little bit of trouble holding it in. And
as you know, Canadians are a different breed.
They're a different breed. I'll agree with you on that one. I think it's in the beer, though.
Yeah. So we will get ready, and I'm sure there'll be some beer here tonight, as well as some Red Bull and some other choice additives. But Desmond Tessmaker, he's going to add some excitement to this race, I'm sure. He didn't have that result he wanted last time, but he had some real good style, and I'm sure we'll be expecting to see something big out of him. Always expect to see big things from Corbin Sherratt.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tessmaker decided to opt out of doing the flow line, which isn't actually allowed, and just go for the jump line anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. So next to him, a pure racer, Connor Fields. He's got a couple of tricks, but I'm pretty sure anybody on a bike anyone on a bike can jump a curb, can do the tricks with Connor Fields, but they can't do the speed or power that he has. But I'm sure he's okay with that. Colin Hudson did that backflip last time, and here the French flare from Vincent Pelliard.
Vincent got rid of a pair of underwear that he was wearing on the outside of his uniform. Some lucky lady in the audience got those ones, although I'm not sure if I were in his shoes, or her shoes, I wouldn't necessarily want to, hang those on my wall. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure there were some freshies. So, and then we had Quentin Clarion in that last spot. So we'll get ready as these guys are lining up. Like I said, the low points right now for Clarion Pelliard. Let's see if they're able to carry that on.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the gate drops, and it looks like it's going to be Pelliard and Fields in the middle. They'll pop up, and we'll see as those guys bunch up. Now it's going to be...
Oh, wow! Desmond Tessmaker with a big tuck-no-hander that he held a good 3-4 seconds over that big table.
So right now it looks like the racers are out front. It's going to be Connor Fields in front. Corbin Sherratt in that second place spot as they go for that flow line. So I think there's a lot less passing through this flow line, but unfortunately Clarion goes down. But right here it's going to be Connor Fields from the US of A, Corbin Sherratt from the US of A, Vincent Pelliard. That's going to be your top three. And the way those guys finish up, Colin Hudson doing it for the fans with a backflip, Tessmaker with a bar spin. So right there it looks like, as the points add up, it looks like it's going to be Fields and Pelliard. That will move on from the program. Those guys will be instantly put into that quarterfinal. They won't have to do that LCQ. Unfortunately, Clarion, who had those low points, had a crash. That's going to keep him out. But as you can see right here, the guys from the middle, they popped out. Fields in that blue uniform gets out front with Sherratt on the outside. Pelliard's in the inside. Clarion.
Look at that tuck-no-hander by Tessmaker. Hoffmonian style. The Condor is in the house again.
And so right from here, from after that step jump, it was all about pure racing as they go through this flow line, and Connor Fields flowed right through it and flowing a backflip. That's going to be that young gun, 16-year-old Colin Hudson from Colorado. And then you saw that nice can, knack from Tessmaker, 2 tricks in 1. So he got double bang for his buck. But it's going to be Fields and Pelliard that have the low points. Those guys are going to transfer on into that quarterfinal.
And there's always a chance that Desmond Tessmaker with his tricks might take the Rebel of the Day from the 55 DSL, so we'll see.
Yeah, and that's a €2,500 prize for the guy that you vote on at home when we get ready to that voting section. If he's picked as one of the top 5, but right now he looks like he is going to be one of those guys who's got some great style. So we'll get ready for the second run here. Moto number 3, Chris Christensen. An impressive rider, young gun. And he's looking to make a name for himself. Again, next to him, it's going to be Jeremy Rommel, doing it for Supercross BMX out of the United States of America. He's a really stylish rider, so expect to see some style come out of him. And like I said before, ultra animated Sylvain Andre.
Well, the dust is flying here at the Red Bull Revolution as we're getting into the introductions of our third heat on the flow line.
Simon Duchesne Another French guy, and next to him, incredible rider, Raymond van der Biezen. Always serious looking, but like I said, when he gets on that track, it's all business. So we'll see how things work. And unfortunately, Darren Goodwin is a DNS for this run as well. Crashed in practice. Unfortunately, saw him. He was in good spirits, but you know he wanted to be on that gate with his fellow pro riders.
A little more space in this one as well.
Okay, riders, random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
So the gate goes down. Looks like van der Biezen puts all his power and might down that first straightaway. Has a good lead. And Sylvain Andre, once again, wants to be up there, so they're going to battle it out. We'll see how things go up this step jump. See those guys jump on the inside, and it puts them in a good line till they get to this Berlin wall. And like I said, it looks a little bit more racer style as they go through this flow line.
Van der Biezen pumping it really nicely, though. He's looking solid out there in front by a good 2-3 bike lead.
Yeah, Sylvain Andre in that second place spot now has a little bit of a charge from Rommel, but we'll see as those guys come around that last turn into the last jump. It's going to be van der Biezen with the first, Andre second, Duchenne in third, Rommel, and you saw those dual backflips from Rommel and Christensen.
Nice. Van der Biezen not wasting any time just to get across that finish line. No style or anything about, trying to get that 55 DSL Rebel of the Day award under his belt. He wants to be on the top of that podium today, by the way he's riding in that heat.
Yeah, so what he did there was he put the confidence back in his head for that LCQ, because even with that win, that first place result wasn't good enough, so he's not going to make it out. It's going to be Duchenne and Andre that both move out. Those guys have the two lowest points. They both have 5. Unfortunately, van der Biezen, he had a 4th and a 1st, so that was a pretty competitive race right there. 5 points kept van der Biezen out, and then so you'll see van der Biezen, Rommel, Christensen all go into that LCQ.
All right, but van der Biezen's, he's got that explosive start as well, so we might see him take another win in the LCQ. That's coming up just in a little bit. First, we got a couple more heats to go, though.
Yeah, so the flow line, like I said, it's more of a race line, where in that jump line you'll see. So that could come into play when we get to the wheel of choice, and we'll see how things turn out. But right now, things turn out. Joris Daudet, from France, living in the United States of America, with his girlfriend from South Africa. He's just an international player.
I think playa is the word.
Young gun, Jared Garcia, from the high deserts of beautiful California. Derek Sipkoy, Canadian, living in Temecula, home to a lot of your buddies on the freestyle motocross world tour.
Yeah, a few of those guys taking up space down there.
Niels Vinsink from the Netherlands, young gun. Blanc from Switzerland.
He looks motivated.
He wants to be like a fine Swiss watch and flew it tonight. But right now, it's all about the German efficiency of Louis Brethauer.
Well, he had a great start. I was really surprised by his start, but more surprised by how well he managed to hold on in that first heat.
Yeah, so Daudet had that first place spot, Brethauer in second. Those two want to ease their way through. We'll see how things go as the gate gets ready to drop. So the two fastest guys are on the outside of each other, and right now it looks like they're going to converge as they get over this box jump, but it's going to be Daudet who has the lead. We'll see as he cuts over, because he knows that inside line is where Brethauer wants to go, but right now it's going to be Daudet. He's got a little bit of trouble, but he gets over that jump and he gets to that flow line first.
Yeah, he's gotten back a little bit of that momentum in here. Brethauer holding down second for the moment.
Yeah, so this is how that first race went. We got a little bit of a charge there for that second and third place spot, but right now it's going to be easily Daudet taking the top spot, Brethauer in there. So that's the most consistency that we've seen out of any of these laps. The same result both there. So Daudet and Brethauer will both move on straight into the quarterfinal. The rest of those guys are going to move on to that LCQ.
And the fans here at the Mellow Park in Berlin are going to be going completely bananas when they see Brethauer locked and loaded in that gate for his next round.
Yeah, and as you see, the two fastest guys, one was in gate 2, one was in gate 7, and right there, Daudet had the speed, the power, even with a little bit of a hang-up on that jump, but he's just a purebred fast racer. Went on that inside line because as he's watched a lot of these guys go through there.
Oh, he's even styling it out a bit.
Yeah, he got. I don't know if that's going to give him any stop points for that
The bar humper
rider
just
of the
doesn't
day.
count.
But you know, right there a little bit of it's a whip Saturday night, sideways Saturday, and another trick there. And the sideways was, I don't know.
That's taking it back to the Gary Turner days, huh?
So we'll get ready for the last of the rounds. We got two more motos left. And you see Brett Howard's doing it for his home country fans, giving them what they want, giving them.
And this next heat is only going to be a 4-man heat because Mike Day and Cesar, we will not see them racing. It's already been established. They will not start because of that crash in the earlier heat.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, we will see if those guys are able to make it back for that LCQ, but right now it's going to be these 4 riders, Resende, Godet, Jaspers, and Nagasako. They got first, second, third, so they have low points, so this could be easily jumbled up. We'll see how things go.
Nagasako's got a big opportunity here.
Yeah. So right there, Martin Jaspers. He had that third place finish in the first round, so we'll see how he's able to go. Godet, Julian Godet was a surprise with that second place. He's a fast rider, but with some of the world's best riders in his heat, it's interesting to see him with that second place. We said Nagasako shocked everyone at that World Championships. Fourth place in that first round isn't what he wanted to get, but he wanted to get the point.
This is definitely an opportunity for him because he had a very fast start, actually. He was right there, and then he just lost it around that one corner when he tagged the top of the hill.
Yeah, this is the type of track where you need to be consistent with your speed. Can't scrub it anywhere, so we'll see how things go out as we get ready for the gate drop. So this time it's going to look like it's going to be Jaspers with a good start, Nagasako on that inside, then Resende is going to power his way from the outside. A little bit of a chop. We'll see how things go. Nagasako cuts on that inside, and he moves in the second place spot.
Oh, wow, what a great speed around the outside. Nagasako gets caught on the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, Godet, Nagasako tagged a little bit and left the front up for Jaspers and Resende to battle it out as they get around this track.
So these two guys don't really need to do anything but to roll across that finish line.
Yes, so Jaspers and Resende will be your top 2 finishers, and I believe they have enough points because Julian will have 5 points. So yeah, so those 2 guys will be the 2 that transfer out of direct of the motos, and unfortunately for these other guys, they will all go to that LCQ.
Well, the last chance qualifier is going to be interesting because there's some good riders moving on to that.
So those guys got bunched up by that. You know, they all dive bombed each other, and then as you can see now, that's where it's taking some of that speed, because that step jump, that Berlin Wall step jump, is incredibly tough to get over in control, and then to be, you know, lose your speed, have to regain yourself, composure, and get back up. It's pretty tough.
And let's not forget, from a visual standpoint, you're coming around that bank turn and staring at a big wall of boxes that you have to clear in order to get on top.
Yeah, and you saw Resende there had a little bit of a bobble, didn't get all the way over that tabletop jump down that first straightaway. So when those guys bunched up, you see right there, that's where Godet had his trouble, and Nagasako was behind him, and you see right there, they touched ever so slightly, and it was just enough for both of those guys to lose the momentum to not be able to make it up over that wall.
Nagasako definitely getting the worst of that effort.
Nagasako's not going to happen this time. He's not going to move straight on, but he's going to move on to that LCQ, but he's still smiling as he comes across the line. I think I see a few smiling faces. I think the fans here so far are pretty happy with what they've seen, but like you said, when it gets to that single elimination racing, it's going to, you know, turn things up a notch. So it'll be interesting to see as we get ready for the last of the heat motos here.
Well, that's the other thing too. When you get down to the single eliminations, you know there's no coming back from a mistake. So that adrenaline is definitely going to be pumping.
Yeah, and pumping for Corey Walsh, youngster from Canada, trying to make a name for himself. There've been some great riders here. And Corey Walsh is really one of those guys that wants to put his name on the map, and tonight it could happen in this moto here. A guy whose name's been on the map of BMX for many years, Luke Medill from Australia. Luke has a Supercross style track in his backyard that Red Bull built for him, so he has an 8-meter starting hill, so he has a lot of time to ride on it.
Yeah. And I was noticing actually too, when we saw that earlier heat with Tessemaker, how much the gate start plays a role in getting out there fast. We've seen lots of guys with good gate starts, and Tessemaker obviously has some great skill on the course, but the gate start was dismal for him, and which is why he is sitting dead last in both of his heats.
Right. So as we get these guys here trying to get some extra style points on the gate after he did that backflip last time, it's going to be Barry Nobles, and he should be. He's always wanted, like I said, to uncork some style. So pay attention to him during this round and see how things. Because he's got low points. He's sitting with 2 points, but you never know what he could throw out. And then we got Yvonne Lapraz, but Godet and Nobles are the 2 guys with the low points. Lapraz is right there at 3. Medill's in that 4. So we'll see how things shake out as we get ready to drop the last of the second round of motos for the elite men here, going through the flow line.
Okay, riders, random start.
At the Red Bull Revolution.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the gate's down, and it looks like it's going to be Von Gent with a good start this time.
Wow, look at that.
And Lapraz on the inside, then you're going to have Barry Nobles in that 3rd place spot. How is the things going to play out as they get
we've
around this
lost
first
Rocker
turn?
off the side of the course already.
So right now it's going to be Von Gent and then Barry Nobles in that 2nd place spot. So and then Godet in the 3rd place spot. They're going to have a good battle between those 2 riders because they want to be able to go straight out.
DK Bookends doing their best to try and catch up with Twan Von Gent.
Yeah, right now Von Gent, he had a horrible finish in that first run, so we'll see.
Oh, a big transfer. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
Barry Nobles goes from the finish jump up on to the top of that deck, the big gap. That was massive.
Yeah, that was crazy, and that's what Barry said. I know I'm done racing for right now because Barry Nobles and Godet will both transfer on with those low points. But as you can see right here, Barry had a good start down that first straightaway, but Von Gent was trying to make up for his bad race in that first run.
Yeah, he was just on fire there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lapraz crashed right there, and then it was interesting to see the DK Bookends as they came around. Lapraz had a good run going down that first straightaway, but he tried to jump on this inside, carry his speed, go, and you can see just up the face of that jump, unfortunately. You see Barry Nobles right there, transfer from the finish line. I mean, the finish line's before that jump, so he's already crossed the line, as well as Corey Walsh said, I can do that too, big guy.
And that's a minimum 10-meter gap that those guys just cleared. So you've got to know that you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to end up eating some speaker, because that's all there is up there. Speaker and metal containers that they've built that big stage on.
Yeah, so both Walsh and Nobles threw their hat in the ring for that Rebel of the Day award. We'll see how things pan out. The judges look to be scrutinizing over what's been going on, and I think that would constitute some incredible style.
I'd say so.
So that's going to be the end of the motos for these guys. It's going to be interesting to see, like you said, now, the next riders, they'll move into that last chance qualifier, so it'll be interesting to see a little bit different type of event for these guys.
All right, well, the event here is hosted by Mellow Park, and as I said off the top of this show, Mellow Park is one of Europe's largest skateboard and BMX parks, and it's got everything basically that a person could want in a place to come and ride. Indoor, outdoor, BMX, Skateboard, and everything in between.
Der Mellow Park bedeutet für mich Stress abbauen und Freunde treffen.
Park has become my second home, he says. That's Jeremy Boy.
Der Park für mich bedeutet eigentlich schon ein großes Stück zu Hause.
Ich finde es halt echt cool, dass der Mellow Park halt so mehr oder weniger eine Familie ist. So, jeder verträgt sich eigentlich mit jedem und ja, man kann ja coole Sachen zusammen machen mit Freunden, Bekannten.
So ein Ort, wo man hingeht, um mal frei zu sein in Gedanken und irgendwie, man kann hier alles machen eigentlich. Man kann hier alles sagen, was man will und es ist irgendwie alles Liebe.
Ja, das Ding ist ja, dass der Ort alle Leute, die so hierher kommen, irgendwie verbindet und deshalb sind alle immer cool miteinander.
Der Mellow Park ist wirklich einzigartig in der Welt, in Europa. Und deswegen, ich bin auch so ein Fan von Mellow Park, weil ich halt sehe, wie viel der Mellow Park für die Community hier tut, für die ganzen Kids, die hier sind. die einfach hier so ein Zuhause haben, aber auch Vorbilder haben. Die sehen, dass hier die Leute, die arbeiten, die Fahrrad fahren, das sind Vorbilder für die, weil die sehen, die Leute machen hier was ihnen Spaß macht und die stellen was auf die Beine.
Red Bull Revolution 12 war ein Banger, ja? Aber ich kam auf den Meadow Park, auf einmal waren da 2 Tribünen aufgebaut, ein riesen Flatscreen war aufgebaut, riesen Flutlichtanlage und ich dachte mir, wo bin ich denn hier? Ist das Amerika oder was ist hier los? Ja? Also das war einerseits fremd, allerdings hat mich schon natürlich auch stolz gemacht, dass wir sowas zusammen mit Red Bull möglich gemacht haben.
Red Bull Revolution 2012.
Und nach dem Red Bull Revolution wollten plötzlich alle Racebikes ausleihen. Schulklassen sind gekommen und sind die Rhythm Section von diesem Racetrack gefahren. Und unsere Kids, die eigentlich sagen, hey, Race ist uncool, ja, sind auf einmal auf ihre Fahrräder gestiegen und sind den Racetrack gefahren und hatten danach ein riesen Lachen im Gesicht.
Red Bull Revolution 2013 wird wahrscheinlich mega krasser.
Und nochmal rumgelaufen ist, ich meine, da hinten, ich glaube, die wird Berlin Wall genannt, ist der Hammer, ein riesen Hügel. Und ich bin mir sicher, dass das echt wieder absolut geil sein wird, den BMXern hier zuzuschauen.
Also nach dem Red Bull Revolution 2013 wurde die Strecke umgebaut zu einer UCI Supercross-Strecke. Denn wir haben uns beworben für einen UCI Supercross-Lauf und haben den Zuschlag bekommen, was uns natürlich megamäßig gefreut hat. So dass es also ab 2014 hier Trainingsmöglichkeiten für die Profis gibt und natürlich auch Wettkämpfe stattfinden, wie zum Beispiel der erste UCI Supercross-Lauf auf deutschem Boden. Ja? Für uns ist es natürlich super, dass wir die Kooperation mit Red Bull haben, denn alleine hätten wir hier so eine Strecke niemals hinstellen können. Ich meine, wir haben schon viele Events gemacht, wie den Highway, aber das ist natürlich kein Vergleich zum Red Bull Revolution und einfach nur ein Traum.
Ich finde es auch total cool, dass jetzt 2014 die UCI hier ein großes Supercross-BMX-Rennen haben wird, weil es, auch wenn es für manche Freestyler oder BMXer so ein bisschen, das ist zu offiziell aber das ist halt die Weltrangliste und es bringt den Sport total viel und das ist total cool, dass halt öfters hier auf der Strecke was passiert. Dann auch die ganzen anderen BMXer, die hier dann herkommen, staunen werden, was für ein geiler Platz der Meadow Park ist.
Well, there you go, the Red Bull Revolution in the park here at the Mellow Park in Berlin. There is nothing really like it anywhere else in the world. There's a vibe and a community that has come together to make this place the place to be if you are into action sports. And that's not just talking about BMX and skateboard. You can bring your scooter, your inline skates here. If you like basketball or barbecuing or camping, you can hang out on the sidelines and the spray is there. And now we are here at the Red Bull Revolution version 2013, looking forward to our last chance qualifier. And this is where it gets interesting with this particular thing right there, the Wheel of Chance.
Yeah, so what they're going to do, as we said, they're going to spin that before each of these 4 of the last chance qualifiers, and that's going to determine where these guys go on the track. So they're not going to know until they get up there. You know, it's not that much of something that's going to fall into those guys' heads as they get ready up there. You know, they one or the other, so they're just looking forward to it. But just to add a different element to the last chance qualifiers.
Yeah, the slight element of surprise, and you never know. A guy, you know, like Desmond Tessemaker up there in these last chance qualifiers might say, okay, I would rather go on the jump line, and he gets the flow line. That you know, it might be an interesting turn of events for him, or who knows, for other riders that prefer the flow line, the jump line may be the choice that happens up on that wheel and could make the difference of whether or not they move on to the next round.
Right, and then like I said, there was those 2 spots on there that say Joker, and you saw that Joker, Tom Ritzenthal, the guy who built this track, builds all the tracks for elite tracks in the Supercross series. He's going to pick it if it lands it right there. He's going to pick it with that paddle. If it lands on Joker, it's going to be up to him which way those guys go. So you never know if he got some...
And he looks a bit devious.
Yeah, it looks like if he got a bribe before things started. So we'll get ready, and like you said, The Rebel of the Day award is still up, still going to count for these guys, so we'll see. It's interesting to see who's going to throw some style in lieu. You know, if they're not in that qualifying positions, it's going to be the top 3 from each of these races that move on. But look for Desmond Tessemaker to have some incredible style if he's not in that top 3 of how he will go, as he wants to get, you know, if he's not going to move on from tonight's program, he wants to move on into the voting for the Rebel of the Day award. So pay attention to these guys as we get ready to load up the gates.
Well, I just snuck a peek over there at our judges. They're sitting right next to us, and I saw a couple of names. Although I'm not allowed to divulge any information until we get the official call from our judges. But yeah, it's interesting how that's going to turn out, I think.
So see the riders coming up the top of that ramp. We'll get ready. As we said, we're going to have the 6-man motos for the LCQ. And it's going to be, you know, the who's who. Like I said, the top 2 guys moved on. And we have, you know, had the world's best riders all in attendance. So now it's going to be even down. Like I said, just the top 3 are going to move on. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out. It'll be interesting to see if Mike Day and Cesar are able to get back up and do this race. But these guys have been scrambled, so it's a completely new rack, different riders, as we get ready for these last chance qualifiers.
I'm looking forward to this here.
So as you were saying before, the mellow part's an interesting place. And you know, just to sum it up a little bit more from what you were saying, you know, Troy showed up with his son. Troy's a late 20, early 30s.
You compliment me.
Gentleman, and he has a 4 or 5-year-old son, and he had his bike to go ride in the flow park, the pump track, and your son had his scooter or his small BMX bike ready.
BMX bike,
and
yeah.
they both have places to ride here, so that's what this is all about, bringing people together, all different facets of BMX to join.
A friend of mine said to me one time, because I said, yeah, I like to go to the pump track with my bike, and he says, yeah, you know what the pump track is though, right, Troy? That's dirt jump for old men.
So here we go. We have that wheel of choice goes to the jump line. So like you said, the jump line is going to be interesting to see because Tessemaker, you know, I'm sure he prefers that jump line because he's got a lot of skill. And he's in this race, he's got that jump line. Anything, you know, there's more opportunity for someone to advance because the jump line's, I think, a more difficult track, more chances of people crashing. So, you know, that could shake things up as well.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Tessemaker really, you know, I think for him, like I said, there's no pressure. There's nothing at stake for him. He's just out there having a good time. He was a late and last-minute invitation by the guys here at Mellow Park and Red Bull, and it's fun to see him out there and just putting on a show. Even if he's coming in dead last in these heats, for him it just doesn't matter. He would say it's egal in German. It's okay, and he's just having fun out there and putting on a show. And because of that, I'm pretty sure he's going to be contending for that 55 DSL Rebel of the Day as our heat is now on course.
And what these guys are competing for is top 3. And you see Tessemaker do a huge backflip. So right now it's going to be Twan Von Gent, and it's going to be Sean Gain in that top 2. Third place is going to be Corey Walsh and Derek Sipko in that 4th place spot. So as we said, top 3 here move on to the quarterfinals. The rest of those guys, their night is done. And right there looks like Corey Walsh gets hung up. Maybe a little bit of a trouble, but right now there's no trouble for Twan Von Gent as he's out front. Sean Gain in that 2nd place spot.
And just a quick note back on Tessemaker. I mean, again, he's dead last, but he had everybody up here in the stands and on the ground. They're on their feet when he did that massive backflip over top of that. So there's singing, and something's happening here. What's going on? Another transfer up onto the box. Oh, and a 360 to finish.
So Twan Von Gent, Sean Gain, and Derek Sipko will all move on to those quarterfinals. The rest of the guys aren't going anywhere, but it looks like Tessemaker really now said, you know, I definitely want to be one of those top 5 riders for the 55 Diesel Rebel of the Day award. And that humongous backflip, I definitely put him at the top of my list.
Humongous is definitely the word for it, too. I mean, that thing is what? How wide are those boxes? They're about 2.5 meters wide each, so that's 2, 5, 10, that's about 14, 15 meters distance that he jumped in a backflip. That is incredible.
And you can see right here, even boosted that section through the jump section. While up front, it was all business for Twan Von Gent, Sean Gain, and Derek Sipko as they were battling it out for that top 3. Corey Walsh said, I'm not going to make it out, but I'm going to give it 360 for the fans. maybe I'll be up for that award. But as we said, those three guys, Von Gent, Gain, and Simple, all move on to the quarterfinals. As we get ready for the next one, it's going to be Chirac, Riccardi, Rommel, Christensen, Clarion, and unfortunately Steven Cesar will not start in this last chance qualifier. So we get ready with that wheel of chance.
I kind of hope it hits the Joker. Oh my goodness, it's the Joker. Let's see what we get.
Speaking of jokers, Tom Ritz, he's the one that's up to choosing which of the lanes these guys will go through on that lap.
It's going to be Tom. It's going to be the flow line by the looks of it. All right, Tom decides on the flow line. Hey, Mike, Mr. Redmond in the camera.
Legendary announcer for the voice of BMX. As we get ready, these fans here are excited to see.
Oh, that's a jump line. Excuse me. You're right.
So that guy, that joker right there is the guy that built this track, built all of the Supercross tracks on that UCI BMX Supercross circuit. But right now we're all about LCQ number 2, Steven Cesar, Corbin Chirac, Riccardi, Clarion, Christensen, and Rommel already going for those top 3 spots to move on.
Here we go.
The gate's down and it looks like it's going to be Corbin Chirac has a good start, Clarion as well. We'll see those two. And then Rommel's out on the outside, so we'll see how things go through as they go through this first turn.
Something that we should note too is the guys coming out of the gate, that big long 10-meter high start ramp gets them going up to 70 kilometers per hour before they hit that first jump. So that's pretty incredible speed. That's a lot higher than your average UCI speed.
Incredible speed right now coming from Corbin Chirac from the United States of America. He's out in front, gonna lead them into that last turn with Riccardi in that second place spot. So Chirac, Riccardi, and Clarion will all move on. Unfortunately, Rommel and Christensen won't. Christensen said, I'll move around 360 as I do a backflip. But Chirac, Riccardi, and Clarion all move on to the quarterfinals.
All right, 2 more heats to go in the last chance qualifier as we take a look back here at this start.
So yeah, Corbin Chirac was spot on with that first straightaway. Perfect backside, as you can see right here. Gives him a little bit of boost. He scrubs a little bit of speed right here on this roller. That's been giving those guys some problems, but obviously not Corbin Chirac, as he was out front, battling it out with Riccardi and Clarion. And then you see Christensen say, okay, well, here you go. Throw my name in for that Rebel of the Day award.
Yeah, I think so far we've got like a half dozen, or actually more than perhaps a dozen guys who have their names in that possible list for that 55 DSL Rebel of the Day award. Next heat, and here goes the spin on the wheel of choice.
Yeah,
jump line.
Lands on that jump line, so interesting to see that line as well. And the riders that we're going to have to go through that are going to be Raymond van der Biezen, Bensick, Garcia, Hudson, Godet, and unfortunately Mike Day will not be starting this race as well.
Yeah, so that crash earlier on really did it for Mike Day and Cesar. Those two guys, we are not going to be seeing them riding at all the rest of today.
So in the black and orange right there, Raymond van der Biezen. Next to him, Bensick. So we'll see how things pan out as we get ready for the LCQ.
The 2 Rabobank riders right next to each other. Teammates. Wow, van der Biezen with a great start.
Yeah, so van der Biezen and Garcia look to be out front right now with Julian Godet in that 3rd place spot. We'll see how things pan out as they get around the track. So they bunch up over that wall. It's going to be van der Biezen, Godet, and Bensick, your top 3. Garcia unfortunately has a little bit of trouble, and it's going to be a battle for the last transfer spot. Colin Hudson from the United States of America is going to try to edge out Godet, but right now, out front, Raymond van der Biezen, Bensick in 2nd, and that good fight for 3rd has gone away, and now it's going to be Godet is going to be your last transfer. But Hudson said, I'll do a flip.
And again, van der Biezen not opting for any kind of style points here. His focus, getting to the next round and maybe getting onto that podium tonight. He's been looking good the last 2 heats, though. Yeah, looking really strong.
So van der Biezen, Bensick, and Godet will be the guys that move on to the quarterfinal. Unfortunately for Hudson and Garcia, their night is over. So you see the efficiency from Raymond van der Biezen. Like you said, it's just all about power and getting down this track as fast as possible. Threw a little bit of a whip in there.
Yeah, we'll let him have that one. Old school turn down.
So the simplest looking obstacle on this track has been the one that's given a lot of guys that problem, that roller just coming out up down the first straightaway, going so fast. That roller wants to throw you in the air. These guys want to get down on the ground, so they get a few pedals in before they set themselves up for that step jump into the first turn. And then Colin Hudson said, unfortunately, my night is done, but hopefully I can get through for that Rebel of the Day award.
All right, well, this time there's not going to be a spin up on the wheel of choice. This time it's going to be left to the local audience here on the sidelines, and Thomas Frank and Max Tuchterhagen are going to be getting them involved in the voting process. Whether or not it will be the jump line or the flow line depends on the people here in the Mellow Park. And again, you know, this is involving the people of the Mellow Park as we look at the stands here, completely packed to the gills. The place is full. And I mean, that tells you a lot about the support that the people in Berlin and around the area have for the Mellow Park, and in particular, the Red Bull Revolution version 2013.
So yeah, we just have one of these last chance qualifiers left. As you said, the fans here are able to choose, and as well as you will be able to vote later on for that Rebel of the Day award. But right now we're going to see what these guys want to see. Do they want to see go to the flow line or the jump line?
Well, I think the overwhelming response is for the jump line.
Okay, so they have chosen the jump line for the riders, and those riders will be Blanc, Van Gorkum, Medill, Otto, and Nagasako. La Praz will not start this race, so we'll see a good race from Van Gorkum. We'll see a good one from Nagasako and Medill. It's going to be a really good battle for that last transfer spot.
I'm really rooting for Nagasako on this one. I mean, I like the way this guy rides, and I like his heart.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the gate's down, and it's going to be on that inside. Looks like a good start from Van Gorkum. He has the lead. Medill's in that fourth place spot, so he's going to be battling it out for the last transfer.
Nagasako's sitting in third place right now.
So Van Gorkum, Blanc, and Nagasako is going to try to drop that sake bomb on those guys again, but right now in the third place spot, he's in where he wants to be. But in fourth place, he's going to be hunted down by Otto and Medill. So as we're coming around through the jump line, right now in control is going to be Jelle Van Gorkum, Blanc in that second place spot, and Nagasako looks to be in that last transfer spot.
He's in good position there.
He will take it. So Van Gorkum, Blanc, and Nagasako will all move on. Unfortunately, Medill and Otto's night is finished.
Like that run. Like that run. It's getting exciting now.
Big smile on Nagasako's face as he knows he just made his way into that quarterfinal. He's going to get a little bit of a break because we're going to have some incredible sideshow action for you. The fans that watched last year remember it. We all remember it. It's going to be the incredible breakdance show. But as we said, here's that run going in there. These guys really battled it out, but it was Van Gorkum who was in control of this whole lap, and it was a good run with Blanc in that second place and Nagasako in third. So you see all those turns are actually pavers, and it's a pretty interesting aspect. We saw it on the Supercross circuit last year in Norway. People really seem to like it.
It's interesting too, because when you go around them on the bikes, it feels like you're, you know, riding the Paris-Roubaix a little bit on those stones.
Yeah, and speaking of the Mellow Park, next year on that UCI World Cup circuit, they're going to have one of the Supercross events here in the Mellow Park, so it's going to go back to a regular track.
That's going to be perfect. Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Ich bin für alle, die natürliches Cola wollen. Ich gehöre zur Red Bull-Familie. Aber ich bin kein Energy Drink. Ich bin 100% pures Cola. Coca-Blattextrakt, Cola-Nuss, Galgant. Nur 100% natürliche Zutaten. Ganz ohne Chemie. Ich bin Red Bull Cola. All natural. All Cola.
I want the top. All my people right there in the back of the spot. I need the top. If you know me, you don't know me to stop. I need the top. All my people there in the back of the spot. I want the top. All my people right there in the back of the spot. I need the top.
This is the biggest event, the biggest crowds, the biggest bike festival in the world.
Are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. Shut the front door.
Look at the amplitude. Double tail whip over the hip.
Brandon Senna goes down. Bam! Perfect.
Well, you can never say that Red Bull isn't giving you top-end action around the world, and here we are in Berlin at the Mellow Park, and the action continues and continues to heat up. The Red Bull Revolution version 2013, a precursor to what's coming up in 2014 when the UCI is going to be bringing a Supercross event here, Pete.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see traditional, again, expanded BMX racing on the Supercross track when we come back. But right now, it's all about the sickest track that is in BMX ever been built. Just some incredible features, great racing, and ultra appreciative fans for a BMX event of its own kind.
Well, and that's the thing too, you're not getting a lot of fans out here who are just walk-ins. Of course, that happens, but the people that come here are knowledgeable, they're fans, they ride themselves in one capacity or another here at the Mellow Park, whether it be on a skateboard, on inline skates, on a scooter, on a BMX during the racing, or in the freestyle side of things. The people that come here to watch this event are there, and they're there because they are passionate about their sport. And speaking of passion, coming out onto our main stage deck right now are the Flying Steps. We saw these guys last year. They put on an incredible show. And it's amazing to think that they have been together now for 20 years, pulling off some amazing, absolutely fantastic team maneuvers and individual b-boy style. The breakdance show that's coming at you right now from the Flying Steps, who were founded in 1993, Pete. 20 years of doing this. And I mean, that's where you can really say, I've taken my passion and I've created a job and a living out of it.
Yeah, these guys, you know, it's completely different from the sport, but this is the entertainment aspect, and you know, we appreciate what these guys have to offer. Growing up in New York in the 80s, I got to see the emergence of breakdance, and to see where it's gone today. Synchronized, ballet, Broadway style.
Everything. I mean, they've done a ton of stuff. They've won the Battle of the Year competition. They've won the Red Bull Beat Battle competition. It consists, I mean, their crew consists of over 20 international members who have been producing successful shows in cooperation with Red Bull for ages now. And I tell you what, they're amazing that they are still at it, still going strong, and their main core of members has taken the sport, we can really say it's an athletic form of art, to another level, and are trying to pass this on to new generations of young kids who want to become b-boys and learn more about the culture and the art and the style that is behind this, I'm not going to say ancient type of dancing, but it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, and again, it's something that Red Bull has the passion behind themselves, and they help, you know, popularize it with their marketing and get it out in front of faces, and people, you know, are excited about what's going on.
Yeah, in 2007, these guys actually founded the Flying Steps Academy. They opened their doors in Berlin-Kreuzberg, and now it's basically the center of the urban dance in Berlin. So, I mean, they're really, like I was saying, they're putting it out there. They're giving an opportunity to the youth to have a place to go and something to do, and maybe give them a focus where they might not have had something, or, you know, help them to create something for themselves, like the Flying Steps have done over the last 20 years.
Yeah, you know, they approached me before, said, hey, we heard you were from New York, we want you to come out. I said, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it tonight, but, you know, we talked about it earlier. I could do the sprinkler, the worm, and I can't remember all the rest of the names because I have so many moves down. But as you can see, these guys, incredible balance.
Absolutely. I can do the worm until I get to the midsection of my body, and then it just stops. So basically, that's where it is for me. It's funny because, you know, they don't call their school a dancing school. They call it more of a talent factory. And, I mean, there's a couple of young guys out there with the flying steps that we're seeing them do their show tonight that have come out of this school or talent factory. So it's really, it's good to see, and it's in combination with the Mellow Park. It's another aspect of urban life that can really help somebody who maybe isn't necessarily having the same outlook as somebody who is more well off, and it's an opportunity to, you know, bust out of a box, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of different lifestyle type activities out here between skateboard and street, BMX racing, and this dancing. So it's interesting to see the different collaborations come together and have a great night during the Red Bull Revolution event. So we're going to sit back, get a little bit of these electric boogaloo steps, let you soak it all in.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. We've seen the B-boy culture explode with the Battle of the Year. The Battle of the Year is a little bit more oriented towards team battles and what we're seeing right here with coordinated dancing between teams. And then, of course, there's the Red Bull BC1, which has taken b-boying to a whole other level and has expanded it around the world. We've seen the BC1 in Brazil. We've seen it in Tokyo, Japan. We've seen it all over the place. And you know, between the Battle of the Year and the Red Bull BC1 and now the Flying Steps putting on a show here at the Red Bull Revolution, this art form and athleticism has really, you know, it's taken new steps into the popular culture of today.
I'm pretty sure I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can't do that either. I think I would be a foot shorter if I tried to do something like that. We're going to hear from one of their members, Benny Komodo, just after they're finished, so we'll have a quick interview with him and hear a little bit more about the Flying Steps.
I'm not even sure how that was physically possible.
You have to play rugby for 20 years and work on those neck muscles, and then, only then, can you do a head spin properly. I'd say it's safe to say that the people here at Mellow Park in Berlin are impressed with the Flying Steps. I know that I definitely am. So hopefully we'll have Benny here in a second for an interview. The question came from our host, Max. He said, you know, how did he come into the breakdance scene, the b-boy scene? I didn't really hear what Benny had to say, but I do know that Benny has been a long time one of the originating members of the Flying Steps.
Ich habe gelesen, ihr habt 20-jähriges Jubiläum, habt euch also, wenn ich richtig rechne, 1993 euch gegründet. Wie lange bist du schon dabei eigentlich?
So, the question is, it's 20-year anniversary now?
98, bist du schon, wie ist das so mit den Handgelenken? Also ich meine,
and he's been there since 89,
sind alle irgendwann kaputt. Wie ist das so für den Körper beim Breakdance?
Quite a long time, running the originating members of the Flying Steps.
Guter Mann, guter Mann. Jetzt bist du ja auch schon größer geworden. Wie ist es, wenn man ein kleiner People ist, sag ich mal, oder auch eine kleine B-Boy-Lady? Wie gibt's da irgendwas? Erzähl mir bitte.
Also genau, wir haben auch eine Flying Steps Academy, eine Tanzschule.
So as I explained earlier on, he just telling a little bit more about the Flying Steps Academy. It's there basically on offer for all the youth and the folks to come by and try it out. There's good trainers. Good opportunity for everybody to learn how to break dance. And, you know, it's something that's there now that wasn't there when I was younger, and we didn't have those chances, so we're offering those chances to the kids that are there now and who want to try this and give it a shot.
Wer ein bisschen Ahnung hat von Breakdance, hat vielleicht schon mal was von Flying Bach gehört. Ja? Ich hab's leider mir noch nie angeguckt, weil ich irgendwie keine Karte
So
bekommen
anybody
habe.
who's heard a little bit about
Ihr wart damit auf World Tournament.
Flying Steps knows a little bit about
Thema
the Flying Bach
was ist das?
tournament.
Bach ist, glaube ich, ein Klassikkomponist, wenn ich richtig aufgepasst
And that's
habe.
classic
Genau,
music
das ist,
combined with
das ist eine Show,
B-Boy
heißt Red
and
Bull Flying
breakdance.
Bach. Das ist
Yeah, it's a show called the Red Bull Flying Bach. It's classic music mixed with hip-hop and classic dance and urban dance styles all mixed together.
Und ja, da waren wir jetzt die letzten 3 Jahre auf Welttour.
Yeah, we've been on the last 3 years on a world tour.
Das muss man gesehen haben einfach.
And you've got to see it to believe it, basically.
Letzte Frage, Flying Bach, ihr seid ja zurück von der World Tourney. Gibt es irgendwas Neues, was jetzt ansteht? Gibt es ein neues Projekt?
So is there something new projects coming up?
An einem neuen Projekt.
Yeah, we're working on a new project right now, but it's super top secret, and we're working together with Red Bull and Flying Steps together. A new concept, a completely new concept. In 3 months, probably we're going to have the premiere. So, and I think it's going to be a big show, an excellent show, and we'll know in 3 months' time, so make sure you tune in and check it out. So there you have it, Benny Komoto from the Flying Steps, one of the originating members there since actually before they were the Flying Steps in 1989. And as I said, 1993, celebrating 20 years, their anniversary this year. And also, folks out there, don't forget, you can get involved. Red Bull Revolution, all one word, after the hashtag. Check out the Facebook posts, the Twitter tweets, and of course the Instagram photos that are floating around out there. And if you're listening on your headset, on your phone, and you're around the area, you can also throw in some Facebook posts, tweets, and Instagram photos. In the meantime, we are going to get back to it. It's quarterfinals action coming up, Pete, and looking forward to some really fantastic racing ahead of us now with our first heat in the quarterfinals with Tuan van Gent, Tori Nijhouk, Brett Hauer, Rezende, Duchesne, and Nagasako. Wow, look at this first heat here in the quarters.
Yeah, 6 riders, top 3 in each of this quarterfinal and semifinal will move on. Usually it's 8 riders and 4 riders move on. Here it's 6 riders total, top 3 move on. The other 3 guys, unfortunately, will be in the stands with the capacity crowd watching their heroes hit the track for the rest of the night, so they don't want to be there.
And the quarterfinals are going to be run off of the wheel of choice because there's only going to be 1 heat. This is single elimination here, so you got to be good. There's our wheel of choice right now, and it spins to find out which track they will be running on. And it will be the flow line, and that is maybe a good thing for a guy like Nagasako.
Yeah, the flow line, in my opinion, so far in tonight's racing has reduced the chance of passing after this big Berlin Wall step jump. So that's going to make it really important to be really smooth up to that jump, as well as the rest of the track. But so far, haven't seen any passing on that flow line. So,
and I'm surprised. I thought there was going to be more passing on the flow line than there actually was.
Yeah, so as we get, as you said, Nagasako will start out there with Duchesne in gate number 6, Nagasako in gate number 7. He's had some good starts, so it'll be interesting to see. Rezende, number 500 from Brazil. Impressive tonight. He moved out of those motos instantly, so we'll see how things go. As we said, these guys' top 3 move on tonight's program. The top German rider here tonight, Louis Breithauer.
An impressive run, few runs from Louis Breithauer, and the audience here just went through the roof. Hey, ladies, nice. Leave it to the Canadian, huh?
Yeah, so Tori came through for some good racing tonight, so let's see if that first moto wasn't the way he wanted, but then he came back and won that second round, so he wants to get top 3 here for sure. And next to him, that number 148, last year's winner of this event on the overall, is going to be Tuan van Gent.
Tuan van Gent looking extremely focused right now.
So here we go. As we said, top 3 move on to the semifinals. So we'll see how things go as we get ready to drop the first gate for the quarterfinal here at the Red Bull Revolution.
Start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
The gate is down, and it looks like Tori Nahog is blocked just a little bit, but Twan Von Gent has that perfect spot. Louis Breathauer is in second, and third place is up for grabs right now. It's going to be Nagasako on the outside. That's not going to be where he wants to be.
Had some trouble on that step up, though.
Yeah, so right there, Twan Von Gent hangs up a little bit. Resende's in that second place spot, and Breathauer's in third. Unfortunately, Tori Nahog looked like his night is done, but the third place could be a good battle. Nagasako's back there. Will he be able to make a battle for that third place spot?
Twan Von Gent super solid there right now, and it's Nagasako, having trouble as he gets into the last stretch.
Yeah, so it's going to be Von Gent, Resende, and Breathauer will be your top three. Unfortunately for Nagasako, he walked that line, put him on the outside, and Duchenne was able to pass him, but as we said, top three only moved on. Tori Nihog with a call for the ladies. He has plenty of time to seek some ladies out in the crowd now as his night is finished.
It's done and dusted. This is where it's going to start to get real fast for us either.
Yeah, so you won't see any more style from these guys, except incredible horsepower style as it goes down. You see right there, Twan Von Gent got a good gate, cut over on Tori Nihog, and that put him, missing a pedal on this track is going to be something that you definitely don't want to do. You see right there, Lewis was in a good spot. He was in that middle line, and then Resende had a good finish as he came through in that second place spot.
Lewis just hung up ever so slightly coming over that big step-up jump on the Berlin Wall, but he managed to keep it together to the finish line. So congratulations to our only remaining German in this competition, Louis Breathauer.
Yeah, so we'll get ready for the second of these quarterfinals. Like you said, top three move on. This one is a good one. As you see your qualifiers right there, Von Gent, Resende, and Breathauer, those guys will move on to tonight's semifinal.
All right, the next heat is already in the gate. I'm looking up to our left here, and we can see that wheel spinning. Gonna choose the line. It's the flow line.
Yeah, so once again, that flow line.
Oh, wait a minute, what's happening up there? There's some funky cold Medina action going on up there. I'd have to say hot buttered biscuits. What are you guys doing up there?
So we'll get ready here. We start out with Niels Vincent from gate number 7. He's that young guy. He's excited to be moving on into this quarterfinal. Can he make it to the semifinal? We'll see. One guy who wants to definitely be in front of him right here is going to be Julien Gaudet. And this is interesting. In this race, we have the Gaudet brothers, so Julien and Damien. Damien's been the one who's been around the longest, right next to his brother right there. So we'll see how things work out. The two Frenchmen could work together, but we will see, because there's 5 other guys in this race who really want to get around both of them. One of the other French riders, Sylvain Andre. Next to him, this is a French toast moto. That's going to be Vincent Pelliouard, the male model of BMX racing, the newly crowned French national champion. And if 5 French guys wasn't, 4 wasn't enough, we have 5 with Joris Gaudet in gate number 2. So I'm going to say at least 2 French guys are going to move on out of this race.
It's fairly safe to say that, I think, yeah.
So here we go. For the second of the quarterfinals, top 3 move on to the semifinal for here tonight.
Start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gaudet has an explosive start as he has all right now. Right now in tow with him, that's going to be Pelliouard in that second place spot.
Nice jump though. Wow.
Pelliouard moves out into the front, so it's going to be interesting to see. Gaudet's in that second place spot, and then Sylvain Andre's in third, but the Gaudet brothers are going to battle for that third place spot. Right now, it's going to be good to see what happens as they go through the line.
That third place battle is going to hot up really fast. Look at them, they're elbow to elbow as they come in towards the rhythm section here.
Yeah, Damien Gaudet threw a good little elbow in there to Sylvain Andre and got around him, and right there it's going to be top 3, France all the way, Pelliouard, Gaudet, and Gaudet.
And the bar humper comes out of the bag again. Ay, ay, ay.
So Vincent Pelliouard, Joris Gaudet, and Damien Gaudet all move on into that semifinal.
You always gotta like it when the guys are having fun up there.
Yeah, some of these guys must have a screw loose to get down that ramp and go down this track because it is crazy out there. But right there, what was crazy was the line that Vincent Pelliard took to get around one of the world's fastest racers, Joris Daudet, and you saw Vincent Pelliard. Shows you why he is that French national champion, as he took the victory there in that quarterfinal. And then right here, you see that good battle between Sylvain Andre and Damien Gaudet as they battled it out for that last transfer spot.
A couple of guys uncorking the craziness over the last jump there.
So that was quarterfinal number 2. Pelliard, Daudet, and Gaudet all move on into the program as we get ready for the next of the quarterfinals, again stacked with the world's fastest BMX racers, all gunning for those top 3 spots tonight. They're going to find out which line they're about to run as we spin the wheel of chance.
Connor Fields, I'm a little bit surprised. I haven't seen him really explode yet, and maybe this is where he's kind of sitting back and waiting for it to go.
Hopefully by explode you mean explosive power, not explosive like blowing up on the track.
No, that's what I meant.
Unfortunately, he did that at the World Championships in the quarterfinal, and he exploded in the first turn. That ended his dreams. He won the World Championship in the time trial, but not when it came to racing. But tonight is all about racing, and right now, a guy who's consistently one of the world's best, Quentin Carillon from France, another French rider. No way. Next to him, it's going to be Remy Riccardi. The French seem to really love this format, and so far they're done outstanding.
Well, we have no less than 8 French riders in the quarterfinals alone.
So next to him, it's going to be out of the Netherlands, Jelle van Gorkum. Jelle won the last stop on that UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. I'm sure he would love to add this to his resume. But right here, one of the guys who definitely wants to stop him, his countryman, Martin Jaspers, doing it for GT Bicycles. The most serious guy in BMX, Raymond van der Biezen. He's serious about power and speed, and he does it every time he's out on the track. Let's see if he can carry that over in the quarterfinal. And next to him, Connor Fields from the United States of America, looking to get around this track super fast like he did at that time trial, winning the World Championships. But right now, it's all about the Red Bull Revolution.
Well, let's see if Connor can come out. He's in good gate line or gate choice. He's got the inside line here, coming into that first left-hand corner on the step up.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
So the gate is down, and it looks like Connor did get a great start next to him. Van der Biezen's right there, but Connor Fields has that lead going over, smokes up that jump perfectly, but it's going to be a big battle for the rest of those spots. We got 2 GT riders that are out there, but right now Connor Fields has the lead, getting over that Berlin Wall, stalling out a little bit, but right now stalling, unfortunately, isn't what he's going to do for the rest of these guys behind him.
Yeah, and he's got a big chase on his hands, so Connor Fields really needs to work here to get across that finish line. Looks like he's going to do it without too many problems, though.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be Connor Fields coming across the line, Jaspers in second, and Riccardi will be third. Unfortunately for Van der Biezen and Van Gorkum, their night's done, and that takes out last year's champion. I'm sorry, that's going to take out last year's champion, but Van der Biezen and Van Gorkum, the 2 Dutch riders, are both out of tonight's action, with Riccardi, Jaspers, and Fields all moving on.
And Caileron was a non-finish, so he's somewhere out there on course. He's struggling to get himself down from the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, you can see right here, Connor Fields has that inside line, and you can see these guys battling it out, and that's where it happened right here for Carillon. He just stalled out on that wall, and unfortunately didn't get over it, and that's not going to take you to top 3 in any race.
Right there, he should have done a tabletop and come back down on that quarter pipe. I mean, that's basically where he was at.
So you see Connor Fields went up there, and it looked like he kind of stalled himself to get over that jump, and that could have played in the heads of the riders behind him, but he went across the line in first, and that's all that mattered in that quarterfinal as those guys move on to tonight's semi.
He pulled that Nanu Nanu Mork for Mork move while he was stalling up there, put the drive into forward, and managed to fly out through that one, so he's in there.
So here we go with the last of the quarterfinals. These guys are going to find out which section of the track they're going to take.
The jump line.
They are going to take that jump line. I don't see the wheel moving anymore, so they are loaded for that jump line. And we have some great jumpers in this race, so I'm sure they're excited to see it. So we'll see how things turn out. As we get the last 6 riders for tonight's quarterfinal, they're in the gate. We'll get you a shot of their pretty little faces as they get ready to do some damage here. The Mellow Park BMX track right there, the young gun, Sean Gain, San Diego, California. Derek Sipkoy, doing it for his own bike company. Out there
You
on
gotta
there,
like that.
earning his own marketing dollars tonight in gate number 6. Next to him, Blanc from Switzerland. Gate number 5. Carlos Ramirez, another young guy that's out here. Like I said, he was a past junior world champion. Now he's up here with the big guys as he's looking to make his way into that semifinal. And the guy you saw doing that incredible transfer at the finish line, Barry Nobles from the United States of America, is in gate 3. And the last guy who's been first a lot tonight so far, and a lot of people have picked him to win this event overall. Second last year, it's going to be Corbin Sherrod from the US of A.
Well, he's focused as well, although looking a little bit goofy in the gate at the moment.
He's got that relaxed, focused look. As we get ready, these guys are loaded in the gate for the quarterfinal. Last of the 4 quarterfinals. Top 3 move on to the semifinal. Here we go with the gate call.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Corbin Sherrod, Barry Nobles battling it down the hill, but Corbin Sherrod is going to be the one that edges everybody out. In that second place spot, it's going to be Ramirez. It's interesting to see, and it's going to be a good battle in that third. Nobles was there, now he's going to be battling with Sean Gain, so we'll see how these guys get around as they go through the jump line.
Corbin Sherrod trying to keep it on the ground and flowing, and he's doing really well at that through the jump line.
There's a really good battle for that last transfer spot between Barry Nobles and Sean Gain. Right now, Barry Nobles has a little bit of a commanding lead, but Sean Gain is a great finisher. So we'll see how things go. But right now, the greatest finish out there is going to be put in by Corbin Sherrod as he's going to take it from the start to finish out in that first place finish. Sherrod, Ramirez, and Nobles will be your guys that move on to tonight's semifinal.
Well, there you go. Done and dusted. Our 4 quarterfinal heats are complete. And that means we'll be moving on to the semifinals very soon here.
So Derek Sipkoy, not the finisher he wanted, but he's excited to be out there, and Barry Noble's definitely where he wants to be with that 3rd place finish. But you can see right here, Corbin Sherrod incredibly fast on that Haro carbon fiber clutch BMX bicycle as he gets around this track. Had to scrub some speed, still was able to get around the track the fastest with some of these guys behind him. Right here, you see that, like I said, that's the roller that's thrown these guys for a little bit of a loop, but it didn't throw Corbin very far as it just threw him down that straightaway to the GoPro jump section. And just look at that incredible style, just soaking it all in. A little bit of tapes for the babes as he goes around the fans. And Barry Nobles, like I said, had a good race there with Sean Gain, but ultimately came out with that 3rd place and last qualifying spot for the semifinal.
I'm actually surprised with the speed that Sherrod had, that he didn't take that roller and jump up onto the step up. Okay, it's not realistic, but you know,
well,
it's a pretty big gap.
Some of those guys did do that. They jumped from the roller to the face of the jump, so yeah, they couldn't get up it, but in practice they figured, yeah, that's not going to be the way that I want to go. So it's going to be Sherrod, Ramirez, and Nobles all moving on into the semifinals. So that's it for the quarterfinals. And as we said, now we're going to get to the Rebel of the Day award and let you know the judges' choices for the top 5 guys, where you're going to be able to go online to vote and pick who you feel was that Rebel of the Day and give them that €2,500 prize money from Diesel 55.
So the 55 Diesel or DSL Rebel of the Day award coming up here. We'll give you more information on that in a second. In the meantime, we're going to take another quick break and then we'll be back with it.
Ich bin für alle, die natürliches Cola wollen. Ich gehöre zur Red Bull-Familie. Aber ich bin kein Energy Drink. Ich bin 100% pures Cola. Coca-Blattextrakt, Cola-Nuss, Galgant. Nur 100% natürliche Zutaten. Ganz ohne Chemie. Ich bin Red Bull Cola. All natural. All Cola.
All my people right there in the back of the spot, I need the top. If you know me, you don't know me to stop, I need the top. All my people there in the back of the spot. I want the top. All my people right there in the back of the spot, I need the top.
This is the biggest event, the biggest crowds, the biggest bike festival in the world.
Are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. Shut the front door.
Look at the amplitude. Double tail whip over the hip.
Brandon Senna goes down. Bam! Perfect.
All right, welcome back to the Red Bull Revolution here in Berlin's Mellow Park. We've seen some pretty fantastic racing coming up to this point, and now we're going to have another special treat, taking a page out of a different BMX background altogether. We have a couple of former world champions going to come up onto our main stage where Max and Thomas are taking care of the introductions for our local audience here. And now we're going to see a little bit of premier flatland action with Matthias Dandois, a former world champion from 2012, and Vicky Gomez, who is basically the equivalent of the Michael Jordan of BMX flatland. He has dominated the scene for over 12 years and calls 3 out of 4 Red Bull Circle of Balance titles his own. And that tells you everything you need to know about these two athletes that are going to come up on the stage here in a second and give you a show of fantastic bike control and skill.
Yeah, if you could appreciate the balance and skill that's involved for that breakdancing segment, and you've not seen flatland before, be ready, because these guys can do some incredible maneuvers on their BMX bikes. The balance, the skill, and the determination needed for this. I used to live with a guy that did flatland freestyle. He would sit in a parking lot and practice for 12 hours a day to do this. He was one of the world's best riders, Trevor Myers, and just the dedication for this sport is nuts. So it's great to see these guys out here, and again, it's discipline that Red Bull gets behind and helps promote.
Well, Vicky Gomez and Matthias Dandois. Matthias Dandois actually travels the world about 220 days a year doing shows, and right now we're going to see Vicky Gomez start things off. And I think at this point we can just shut down and watch this show, because this is going to be a lot of fun. You just have to enjoy the action between these two gentlemen here. Top-notch professional flatland at its best here at the Red Bull Revolution.
We rapped on the stoop, who knew it would come this far? Now they calling me an internet phenom, which means it look like a Benag, everything to be gone. So beyond that, when I got you in my corner, don't know how I got by before you, you're more or two.
Vicky sehen.
Wie sieht's bei euch aus? Okay, Vicky, dann machen wir noch einen.
Okay, Leute, hat's euch gefallen? Okay. Die Jungs haben noch einen drauf. Ja? Die können nämlich auch Tricks synchron machen. Das haben sie sich von den Synchronschwimmerinnen abgeschaut. Habt ihr Bock, das zu sehen? Also die Nordtribüne ist richtig fett. Was ist mit der Tribüne da links? Wollt ihr die beiden noch mal synchron sehen? Ihr seid ja auch ein paar weniger. Was ist mit der Osttribüne? Hey! Lauter, ich kann euch nicht hören! Ja. Also, alle nochmal zusammen jetzt für die beiden. Vicky Gomez und Matthias Duandor, Synchronized BMX. Yeah.
Leute, ja, nochmal dicken Applaus, ihr habt ihn verdient. Auf jeden Fall. Und hier. Und ihr habt den nächsten Lauf verdient. Die nächsten 2 Runden stehen an. Die 12 besten Fahrer bisher stehen an. Wir sind bei den Halbfinals. 2 Runden werden gefahren. Die 6 besten Fahrer haben dann im Finale. Also, dicken Applaus nochmal, liebe Leute, für unsere 12 Fahrer in den Halbfinals.
All right, well, we are representing here at the Red Bull Revolution tonight, and it is semifinals time. And I tell you what, I love the fact that we've had B-Boy, we've had Flatland, freestyles mixed in with the racing tonight with a few guys trying to pull off some big tricks. I'm a little bit sad, though, that a couple of Canadian fellas from my home country aren't making it into the mix. Tori Nyhog and, of course, Corey Walsh, who was hanging out with another friend of mine, Ron Mercer, at the Woodyard in Vancouver, practicing and having a good time playing on the ramps there. Those 2 guys, we're not going to see them, but here goes semifinal action coming up, and the wheel says it's the jump line.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great semi. Top 3 move on, and it's stacked. Vincent Peliwad, Renato Resende, Connor Field, Riccardi, Lewis Brethauer, and Barry Nobles are the 6 riders trying to get those top 3 spots to move into tonight's main event. We will start out on the gate with Barry Nobles from the United States of America.
You weren't kidding when you said this was a stacked heat. Absolutely top. And I think that Connor Fields and perhaps this man right here, Lewis Brethauer, who the audience just went nuts for, are going to be the guys who I'm going to pick in this one. But it's anybody's game with a gate like this, ready to rock and roll here at the Red Bull Revolution.
Yeah, from France, Remy Riccardi, he's been impressive tonight, and so is this guy right here, number 11, Connor Fields from the United States of America, looking to make his way into that main event tonight with a top 3 in the first of the 2 semifinals.
And we saw Connor Fields with that explosion that we were talking about with the start in the last heat, but I tell you what, you know, this is a tough one, especially with the next rider coming up.
Yeah,
Pelluard.
Yeah, Resende's been really, really fast, but Pelluard's been showing a lot of speed tonight. He's got the skill and the style, so we'll see how things go. Once that gate drops, it'll be interesting to see who can poke out and get that slight lead, and if they can maneuver through that first turn. As we've seen, that's where all the action's been tonight. Here we go with the drop for semifinal number 1 here at the Red Bull Revolution.
Here we go, guys. Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
The gate is down, and it looks like that explosion you were looking for from Connor Field just happened. Everyone is chasing him around the track. Him and Vincent Pelluard are going to lead these two guys in with Breathauer in that third place spot. We'll see how things. Breathauer gets passed by Riccardi, but right now it's Connor Fields and Vincent Pelluard in first and second. They're side by side.
Breathauer's in a bit tough right now. He's been relegated back to the far right-hand side of the track. He's going to have a tough job to try and get back in with these guys.
Yeah, so right now it's going to be Pelluard with that lead. Connor Fields in that second place spot, top 3 into the final. No one's made anything yet, but it looks like there's a good battle going on for that last transfer spot. But it's going to be Pelluard, Fields, and Resende making their way into the main event. Unfortunately, Barry Noble's backflips for the fans, but Pelluard, Fields, and Resende make their way into the Revolution main event here tonight in Mellow Park, Berlin, Germany.
Pelluard blowing a kiss to the audience there as he knows he's making it to the final, so good heat right there.
As I said, Pelluard's been really fast as of late, and right there you saw it. Connor Fields had a good start, but up on that step jump, on that stall wall, the Berlin wall, as you can see right here, he's on that inside after getting an impressive start. Pelluard's all the way on the inside of the blue. Connor Fields there with a Monster Energy helmet. Goes around him, soaks up that roller really well, so that was a decisive part for him to get out. And you see right here, as they get through the jump line, Pelluard's really whipping it to get that inside. Connor sees that, goes to the outside. Those two both make it and navigate their way through. And you can see right here, Barry Noble says, well, if I'm going to get 5th, I'm going to get 5th place with a flip for the fans as he comes across the line. Not the finish he wants, but the fans are excited to see him give his all even after getting last place in that semifinal.
Yeah, and again, let's not forget, he's working on it for the 55 DSL thing, and here we're going to hear from Breathauer now.
Maybe.
He's
probably saying, you know, I love the fans.
It just...
Oh.
Oh, no, we're here. Hey. The big roll on first straight, I was in 3rd position, but I messed it up. Didn't get a perfect line in the first turn. On the step up, I was on the outside, and if you're not in a top 3 position there, it's so hard to make a move, and I'm really devastated that I couldn't make it into the final, but at least I guess I'm 10th now. It's such a big race. That's a good thing, and thanks Germany, danke Deutschland, danke Berlin für die super Stimmung. Macht noch weiter Stimmung im Finale, auch wenn kein Deutscher mehr dabei ist. Aber danke für den geilen Abend.
Danke, Luis.
Thank you for an awesome evening, and he asked the audience here
Germany,
to keep that
Luis
alive for the rest of the races in this evening, which amounts to only 2 because we've got the second semifinal coming up, and then after that, a short break, and then the final. But let's take a look at this second semifinal heat.
Just as stacked as that first one, you'll see Twan Van Gent, his name on there, Joris Daudet, Jaspers, Godet, Chirac, and Ramirez. You know, right now, some of the world's best riders in this one, they're waiting to see what course they are going to ride as they get ready for their semifinal. And again, it's that flow line, a little bit
maybe. Looks like nobody's changing anything here, so it's going to be the flow line, which means Van Gent might have a distinct advantage. He's got a solid start, and the flow line's been good for him tonight.
Yeah, he's right next to Daudet on the gate, so those two guys are going to battle it out all the way down. And you got some young guy like Ramirez out here. He's starting from the outside, but he's had some great starts tonight. He could make his way over. If he's going to do so, he may have to follow one of the other fastest guys of the night so far. That's going to be Corbin Chirac. Corbin's been, like I said, there's a really fast moto here. Godet, Damien Godet, the older of the brothers, was the one to make his way through to tonight's semifinal. An impressive run from him, and we'll see if any of these French riders can make their way in to meet up with Vincent Pelluard. So far, there's only one French rider in, but we will see. Jaspers, He's loaded in gate number 4. And he said the heavy hitters. Joris Dode doing it for GT Bicycles and Red Bull. Loaded in the gate from the inside. Hopefully continue on his path that he's had. A great ride so far tonight. But they're going to be chasing this guy from the inside. Twan Van Gent, last year's winner, needs to make it in that main event if he wants to defend his title. But right now he's just focused on top 3 in this semifinal, trying to make his way into the Revolution.
One race at a time. That's all you got to focus on. One race at a time. And this heat that's blocked up right now is ready to drop.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the gate is down, and Dode gets a great start, but so does Twan Van Gent and Corbin Sherratt. So those top 3 right now. Sherratt's in the back of the pack. That's not where he wants to be, but I'd see some bumping and grinding go down. It looks like Jaspers went down, so it looks like it's going to be Van Gent and Dode, and Ramirez in that 3rd place spot. Is he going to be able to hold off Sherratt as they get around this track? So it's going to be Joris Dode out with the lead. Twan Van Gent, that 3rd and 4th place spot is going to be a good battle. As we said, we went through the flow line. It might have not been where Sherratt wanted to be, and it looks like his night is going to end. It's going to be Dode, Van Gent, and Ramirez, as those are the top 3 moving on. Unfortunately, Sherratt, 4th place is not where he wanted to be because his night is complete.
Good sprint to the finish for Ramirez there as he really pushed the pedal to the metal to try and get ahead of Sherratt. A little bit surprised that Corbin Sherratt didn't really get the start that we thought he was going to get out the gate.
Yeah, he was on that outside, and you know, he's had great starts all night. You can see right here, he came out, Dode, even he got over on Dode, so he had a kind of a clear path for right there. He sucked up a little bit too much on that big jump, lost some of his momentum right here. He had it in his hand because now he was in control. Ramirez even cased that, but he cased that jump ever so slightly, and like we said, when the guys go to that flow line, there was not a lot of opportunity to pass because it was such a fast line, not as challenging as that jump line, and that's something that I'm sure that Sherratt would have rather seen because he's incredibly smooth on those big jumps. But unfortunately for tonight, 4th place is where he's going to finish up, and normally in that semifinal, 4th is what you need, but tonight with only top 3 moving on, he won't make the main event.
And there was quite the garage sale out on course. Our first aid staff are still out there making sure everything's all right. And Louis Bretthauer is now opting to dispense some love in the glove, so to say, throwing away his gloves to the audience here. They call them Handschuhe in German, gloves, otherwise shoes for the hands. And it's always bothered me why they don't throw them out as a pair, because one person gets one glove and another person gets another glove. Great to hang on the wall, completely unusable.
They're spreading the love to the fans.
Spreading the love with the glove.
So we have our main event set. It's going to be Vincent Pelluard, Connor Fields, Ronaldo Resende, Joris Dode, Twan Van Gent, and Carlos Ramirez, your 6 finalists for tonight's Red Bull Revolution. Those guys are going to get a break, a 10-minute break or so. And we've got some more action up for you. And we're going to get more information on the 55 DSL award. I had a few people tweet in a question and ask what that 55 DSL was. That's a division of Diesel clothing. So that's their action sports, sporting brand of clothing. And they stepped up big time here supporting this event here at the Red Bull Revolution. And that's where you, the fans, are going to be able to go on and vote at redbull.de/vote in a few moments. After we get the top 5 riders, the judges are now tabulating who needs to be those top 5 guys for you to vote on, but everything else after that comes down to you all across the world to get the number 1 guy. He wins
2,500 euros.
Yeah, and then we're going to take 10 of the voters. They're going to be randomly selected to win an article of clothing, a t-shirt from 55 DSL. So they will contact you from the voting process somehow. I'm not sure how.
I think they send you back a tweet message and let you know how it all goes down. But basically what it boils down to is we have a very limited amount of time for the voting procedure. So from the start of our voting procedure, when you do log on to www.redbull.de, that's very important, it's redbull.de/vote, then you will have 15 minutes time to vote for your favorite 55 DSL Rebel of the Day rider. We will introduce you to our 5 riders shortly here. We're still seeing Lewis making his way off the course very slowly there. He's talking to every single fan along the way. What does that tell you about his character? He is one of those good guys.
Yeah, he really wanted to be in the main event here for his home country, but unfortunately that didn't pan out for him. But he's out there, like you said, giving that back as much as he can to the fans here and just showing the BMX love. So I think we're
trying to get a Ola going here.
The Euro wave. It's usually just a bunch of cigarettes up in the air.
Cigarettes and handy phones. The handy phones is nothing new, but the cigarettes is something you don't very often see in the North American events anyway.
So as we said, we're going to have about a 10-minute break. Give the riders their breath because they want to put on one heck of a show for you for that main event.
Speaking of breath, we're going to have a beatboxer come out in a few minutes. His name is, well, actually it's a beatbox duo called Unterwegs, which translated from German into English is on the way. And they're from Kassel, Hessen. And they're going to be coming out in a minute. Before that, though, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are the 5 nominees for the 55 DSL Rebel of the Day Award, and we knew this was going to happen.
So yeah, their second participant in that voting pool is going to be Barry Nobles with that huge transfer. Desmond with that enormous backflip. You go here, you're going to have Corey Walsh, who did that 360 up into that roller section.
Corey Walsh obviously taking those skills when he was practicing just the week before he came here at the Woodyard.
Yeah, Chris Christensen doing a backflip over that finishing line area. And then we have those 2 backflippers as they came through that finishing area, but Christensen's going to be up for that award of the day. So, those are your 5 finalists. Vote
right,
now. You see where you can go to vote. redbull.de/vote. 5 riders, you get 1 vote for your favorite guy. As we said, the winner for that Rebel of the Day award from 55 DSL Diesel Clothing will get 2,500 euros, and he'll be very excited. We'll love to say thank you.
Some of our voters out there as well will also receive a prize from 55 DSL. They'll contact you via the voting process. So it is now officially on the go. Log in www.redbull.de/vote and vote for your favorites 55 DSL Rebel of the Day rider. Starting now, you've got 15 minutes to vote, folks.
Okay, also, die Jungs auf Kassel sind gleich dran. Die machen einen ganz dicken Track. Da haben sie gesagt, den machen sie nur für mich.
All right, coming up, we've got the beatbox duo Unterwegs from Kassel in Hessen. And it's a duo consisting of Rocco, who does beatbox, beats, and rap, and Issei, who does rap and DJing. And since their first gig together back in 2008, they have rocked various parties and events in Germany. They were also here last year, I believe, putting on a show. And they are live Unterwegs here for us at the Red Bull Revolution version 2013 in Berlin, Germany at the Mellow Park.
Yeah, so as we said, you got 14 minutes to log on to redbull.de/vote for your favorite. I just did mine.
I'm going to do mine now.
I'm not going to tell you who it was, but we have Barry Nobles, Christensen, Desmond, Jeremy Rommel, and Walsh. Those are your 5 riders who are up for the Rebel of the Day vote. So make sure you head on over to redbull.de/vote and throw that in there for the riders. So the fans are still doing the wave.
We're still waiting for Unterwegs, the beatbox duo, to come up on our stage here.
All right, so as we said, we got that break. Make sure you take your time to go over to redbull.de/vote. Vote for your favorite, one of those 5 riders for tonight's Rebel of the Day award. Those 5 riders up there looking to win 2,500 euros. All of it's going to come through the vote from the fans here. They're all able to log on to the Wi-Fi here, and as well as you at home, hopefully you're able to log on to redbull.de. Vote for your favorite rider and favorite move. Was it that ginormous backflip, the huge transfer, or the backflips, or the 360? So it's one of those 4 jumps. There was 2 riders that did backflips. One doing, Corey Walsh doing that 360 up into the rhythm section. You see right here, the biggest backflip I've probably ever seen by Desmond Tessmaker.
Unbelievable.
Huge down that first straightaway.
The Dutch rider just exploded there, and then of course this transfer, which got us all off guard.
Yeah, that was Barry Nobles. That was after getting 2nd place in that moto. Comes across the line and jumps on that transfer. Right here you see Corey Walsh 360ing up into that end of the jump section, into the flow section.
That landing actually looked a little bit like a landing Ron Mercer used to pull off on a regular basis.
Chris Christensen with his finishing line backflip, as well as Jeremy Rommel's finishing line tandem backflip with Chris Christensen, but Jeremy Rommel getting his way in there to earn your chance to get your vote tonight. So like I said, head over to redbull.de/vote. Top rider will win 2,500 euros, and we will select 10 voters to win a shirt from 55DSL Clothing.
You just got to make sure you tag and check that I wish to participate in the chance to win a t-shirt, and then they'll keep you in contact via email. So still a few minutes left of voting, and we're just waiting on our beatbox guys. They're up on the main stage now. We're going to let them go for it and have some fun, and this is something I really like as well. Urban, and it's in the mix. Here we go.
Coming out from the mouth. Mouth. Euch geht's gut oder was?
Sehr schön.
Das hört sich gut an. Yeah.
Take me to the trip I like to go someday.
Den kennt ihr.
Take me to New York, I love to see LA. I really want to come kick it with you. You be my American boy, American. Take me to the trip I like to go someday, baby. Take me to New York, I love to see LA. I really want to come kick it with you. You be my American boy. Yeah.
Touch it, bring it, babe, watch it, turn it, leave it, stop for a murder. Touch it, bring it, babe, watch it, turn it, leave it, stop for a flip mode. Touch it, bring it, babe, touch it, turn it, leave it, stop for automatic. Touch it, bring it, babe, touch it, turn it, leave it, stop for a flip mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darf ich noch mal fragen, geht's euch gut?
Sehr schön.
Yeah, weiter geht's. Und jetzt pass auf, den hat er sich schon die ganze Zeit gewünscht. Kennt ihr Gangster noch? Ja, der ein oder andere Head ist hier.
Geil.
Passt auf, ich hab Bock, eure Arme zu sehen bei dem Ding, okay?
Alle die Arme hoch.
Big L, rest in peace. Ja, da hinten, die kennen das. Big L, rest in peace. Full clip. She want a master dip. Gangster. One of the best. It lies like check the best up. Spin it around. Full clip. She want a master dip. Gangster. One of the best. It lies like check the best up. Spin it around. What?
Macht mal Lärm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hört sich gut an. Skinhead, crabhead, everybody grab it. Finish your contact with everybody. Try to fall up on the trees that he don't really care about us. All I wanna trees that he don't really care about us. Yeah. Woo! Das ist gut an. So Leute, der steht nicht einfach nur so hier. Der kann zwar kein Beatbox, er könnte jetzt 5 Minuten lang die Hi-Hat durchziehen, will ich euch nicht antun, aber der kann geil rappen. Habt ihr Bock drauf oder was? Ja. Geil, das wird nicht. Pass auf.
Wir sind unterwegs. Wir haben eine kleine Stadt, doch Fakt ist, dass wir Kassel ehrlich spüren. Wir sind dope und kommen mit Flows wie das ist krass und very simple, sprich ein leichtes für mich. Einfach Musik und ich schreib für die Kids Elm Street. Man muss für Rap nicht fies oder eklig sein. Ich hab die Ruhe weg, so wie in Bibliotheken schreien. Wir liefern biblischen Hip-Hop-Style, übermächtig, überheftig. Wir spitten geht nicht heim. Ihr habt ja keine Chance, die ewige Front nervt mich, Jungs. Denn eure schädlichen Songs sind Trauer wie Beerdigung. Ich spit und ihr werdet stumm, mach Bomben, mir stark klar Rap und ihr seid gefesselt, so wie Bondage. Ihr seid Comedy, aber manchmal vergeht mir das Lachen, der dämliche Schwachsinn, die ewige Masche, die Szene verspastet. Manchmal scheint es, als fehle es jedermann klasse. Wir sind Entertainer und beleben die Szene in Kassel. Unterwegs, der Name ist Programm, wir gehen nie wieder weg, jetzt gehen wir es an, es geht endlich los. Wir nehmen es in die Hand, solange die Menge tobt, fahren wir durchs Land. Unterwegs, der Name ist Programm, wir gehen nie wieder weg, jetzt nehmen wir es an, es geht endlich los. Wir nehmen es in die Hand, solange die Menge tobt, fahren wir durchs Land. Yeah!
Alright, Leute!
Ja,
hat's euch gefallen? Osttribüne!
Geil!
Nochmal ein riesen Dankeschön an euch, Jungs.
Danke.
So,
Yeah.
Fett, komm, Ghetto Faust. Ghetto Faust.
Macht's gut, Dankeschön!
Tschüss. So, unterwegs aus Kassel. Letzten Sekunden jetzt hier, um nochmal zu voten für den Rebel of the Day Award. Ansonsten steht das Final an. Leute, habt ihr Bock auf das Final, das Red Bull Revolution 2013?
All right, unterwegs.
All right.
Done and dusted. Remember, vote now, redbull.de/vote for the 55 DSL Rebel of the Day Award. Just a couple of minutes left on the voting procedure there. Make sure you put in your email address as well to be part of a chance to win one of 10 t-shirts. I'm going to choose randomly 10 people who have voted today. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to rock it and roll it with our final Pete, I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be all that and a bag of marbles, I think.
Yeah, we've got the top 6 BMX racers at the Red Bull Revolution event loaded in the gate. They are so hyped to get that gate dropped, get things going. And it's some great names up there. Joris Daudet, Twan Van Gent, Carlos Ramirez, Vincent Pelliward, Connor Fields, and Ronaldo Resende. Those are your 6 finalists for tonight's main event. There you see it. It's going to be impressive, you know.
And the question is now, will Twan Van Gent defend his title, or will it go to somebody new this year?
Yeah, Vincent Pelliward's been looking incredibly strong tonight. Connor Fields has been explosive. Resende's looked stellar. Ramirez has been consistent.
Joris Daudet's had some great starts as well.
So each one of these guys can throw their name in looking for that championship. But right now we're going to start out with number 500 from Brazil, one of the most impressive riders of the 2013 BMX race season, Ronaldo Resende. Next to him, from the United States of America, current world champion on the UCI BMX Supercross time trial field, doing it for Chase Bicycles, Connor Fields.
And the starts that he's had, you might have to be chasing him to get anywhere.
Right, and another guy chasing him is going to be that French national champion in the elite men, Vincent Pelliward. Next to him is the youngest rider in the main event. That's going to be Carlos Ramirez from Colombia. One of 3 riders. I'm going to throw in a self-promotion plug. One of 3 riders on the Chase BMX bike tonight. 3 of the 6 finalists. That's pretty impressive. Next to him, Twan Van Gent.
With his funky finger.
With his hand that looked like he had a pocket where his knuckle went the other day. Had it stitched, rode, the stitches popped out, and he's back up there. And right here, one of the fastest guys right now, past world champion in the UCI Elite Men, Joris Daudet from France, loaded up, doing it for Red Bull and GT Bicycles. Right now, he wants to do it for that Revolution Championship. We will see as the gate is loaded for the main event.
Random start. Ready? Watch the gate.
The gate is down, and it looks like it is Connor Fields, your call, and Twan Van Gent. They are battling it down, but Connor Fields has the lead. He gets that first jump perfect, soaks up that roller fine, and a little bit of a crash right now is going to keep him out front if things go his way. But Connor Fields gets over that jump. Resende's in that second place spot, and it looks like it's going to be Pelliward in third. But right now, Connor Fields from the United States of America has that lead here at the Red Bull Revolution 2013. He's got his way through the jump line, and right now things are going his way. He's just got one more turn to go around. Resende from Brazil in that second place spot, but it's going to be Chase Bicycles from the United States of America doing a funky one-hander over the finish line. Connor Fields with the win over Renato Resende and Vincent Pelliward from France in that third place spot.
What a fantastic finish for Connor Fields, and boy, I tell you, there was quite the garage sale on the course there, with 3 riders going down all at once after that roller.
Yeah,
as they try and get their way back into
it looks like Twan Van Gent, Daudet, and Ramirez all went down. They're still battling out because there's a lot of money on the line for these riders in this main event. But the most money was won by the United States of America's Connor Fields. And there you go. There's the guys finishing up on that lap. Vincent Pelliward with that third place finish, and Ramirez coming across that line.
That was incredible, absolutely incredible race by Connor Fields. He didn't have the explosive start that we thought he would, but boy, did he ever fly over that big jump.
Yeah, his 4th and 5th pedals were just insane. He got out, he sucked up that jump, and you see what Twan Van Gent was trying to do. He sucked up that roller. Unfortunately, it looks like his back wheel clipped it right here, and that threw him over the bars, and that gave Connor a little bit of a cushion, but Resende was really making a charge for it. Connor's been floating up this step jump all night, and that's what, you know, one of the areas where I thought people would catch up to him if he was out in the lead, but right there nobody was catching him. As you see, Connor Fields flows through the jump section, and he gets his way to be the winner. Look at that style over the big GoPro jump section of the track, but Connor Fields throws
nicely done.
sideways Saturday for Connor Fields as he goes through the Red Bull Revolution. He needs to work on his one-handers a little bit.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? That fist pump wasn't quite where it should be. But I tell you what, I don't think he cares right at this point. He is the winner of the Red Bull Revolution 2013.
So there you have it from the United States of America, doing it for the fans all across the world. It's going to be Connor Fields with the win tonight here.
How you feel?
I feel great. First place.
So, make some noise for him. Connor, what?
So there you have it.
Connor Fields takes it away, but we got a little bit to do here. We still have the awards ceremony, and of course, your voting out there made the decision for our 55 DSL Rebel of the Day award, and that is probably going to be, in fact, it is going to be the first thing that we're going to dispense here this evening, so we'll find out who took that one. There is the final results for our main event here. Connor Fields taking the top spot, Resende and Pelluard second and third places. So we have a new Red Bull Revolution champion 2 years in a row, two different champions. That says a lot about the future of the sport here at the Mellow Park, and perhaps the expansion of this particular format to a larger audience, and maybe happening a little bit more often.
Yeah, you saw Chuan Von Gent. He knew what it was like to taste the victory here in the Mellow Park. He was doing everything he could to catch up to young Connor Fields. Unfortunately, sometimes that's where mistakes happen, and I'm glad to see that he got up from that crash. But like you said, he finishes up 6th place for the night with Connor Fields taking the win, Renato Resende in that 2nd place spot, and Vincent Pelluard in 3rd. So we got the riders making their way up to the award ceremonies for the overall top 3 for tonight's Red Bull Revolution race.
I always love to watch the champagne shower part of the ceremony. It's usually a gong show, but before that all happens, we're going to dispense the first award, and that is the public voting online for the 55 DSL Rebel of the Day award, which basically awards the rider that got on to everybody with the way that he was riding on this course, pulling out some big tricks, and by far the biggest trick that we saw on the day was an absolutely massive, monumental backflip that went over the main box right here where the awards ceremony will be happening. And if I'm not mistaken, that award for the 55 DSL Rebel of the Day is going to Holland's Desmond Tessemaker.
Yeah, 2,500 euros for the biggest backflip in the history of BMX, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the history of this event, anyway.
Yeah, Desmond surely gave the fans exactly what they wanted to see, other than the incredible race action that we did see tonight.
You know, he didn't win a single race. He didn't even come in top 5 in the single race, but he did have this incredible backflip over the main jump box, which is a good 10 meters long. We already measured it. It's more than 10 meters long, and he had space to not case in this case. And I'll tell you what, Desmond Tessemaker made an impact on the audience here and the audience that were watching around the world. So thank you very much, folks, for your votes, and I'm sure Desmond Tessemaker is thanking you for your votes as well. All right, so let's get into it. 3rd place, a young man from France. 3rd place on the podium here at the Red Bull Revolution 2013, Vincent Pelluard.
So I said Vincent Pelluard won the French National Championship for Elite Men just a few weeks ago, about a month ago, and tonight he gets his way on the 3rd place spot at the Red Bull Revolution.
Well, he can definitely be proud about that step that he's taking right now, because he rode absolutely fantastic today throughout all of his heats. Super solid, great starts with a lot of confidence. You could see it the way he came down that track every time. Okay, so second place from Brazil, Renato Rezende.
So Renato Rezende, you know, we sat down and interviewed him for the Supercross series. He's a great kid. He has a lot of support. He comes from a family that 100% supports him to go around the world to race BMX, and this has got to be a tremendous thank you to them. You know, second place at the Red Bull Revolution, living his dream.
Fantastic outing, but your winner tonight, the man that everybody's going to be talking about until next year's Revolution, Connor Fields from the USA.
Connor Fields has been destined for greatness. He's had a lot of impressive races, a lot of second place finishes on the World Cup circuit. He's won a few of the races as well. But tonight, I would say this is probably the biggest win of his young professional career, winning the Red Bull Revolution here at Mellow Park in Berlin, Germany. And he gets to keep that championship belt.
That's pretty sick, that belt right there. You don't get those very often. I'll tell you what though, I looked at Connor Fields during the racing today and we knew he was strong. We knew he had good starts, but his last start was not the strongest start he had. Where he was strongest is what you mentioned earlier, those fourth and fifth pedal kicks as he came towards his first jump here, and then of course one of the weakest fist bumps to finish and win a race ever. But you know what, like I said, he doesn't care. He's got this one in the bag. Congratulations to Vincent Pelluard, Renato Rezende, and our #1 contender here tonight at the Red Bull Revolution 2013 at the Mellow Park in Berlin, Connor Fields. Well done, boys.
So it should be interesting to see some newcomers to the podium here with the champagne ceremony. As I said, Connor's been up there before.
I love this gong show.
Connor's the kind of guy that he's not wasting a drop of it. He's just going to stick that bottle right above his face and drink as much of that champagne as he can. And we'll see.
The corks are popped and we've got the spray going, so it's all good in the hood here.
So there we have it, tonight's podium presentation with the top 3 from the Red Bull Revolution, with Connor Fields from the United States of America taking the victory, the lion's share of cash, and just the great satisfaction to know he was the fastest guy tonight out here in Berlin, Germany at the Mellow Park on the biggest and baddest BMX track ever built.
Biggest and baddest is a good way to describe this track. Hopefully we'll see this format continue to be used on a more regular basis. There you have it, your podium, ladies and gentlemen. Vincent Pelluard, Renato Rezende, and Connor Fields, 3, 2, and 1 respectively. And of course the photo ops follow as always here at the Red Bull Revolution. And I think that these guys are all going to be lining up for next year's Revolution, trying to come at Connor Fields to try and take over that title from that man right there. But you know, Connor Fields will probably be back and defending. All right, well, we want to say thanks a lot for joining us here live for the Red Bull Revolution 2013 from the Mellow Park in Berlin. I'm Troy Mannering, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Pete Delewski, thanks a lot for being here to keep me online and in line.
Thanks so much. Thanks, fans, for tuning in to watch the greatest BMX race of all time, Red Bull Revolution. We're excited. We will see you again next year, and thanks for tuning in.
Take care, everyone. Be good. Keep the rubber side down. Ciao.
Ich bin für alle, die natürliches Cola wollen. Ich gehöre zur Red Bull.